Chapter 351. May I know who you are referring to, Jingyun? Mama Su answered the old man with a smile. He is my third son, Su Yifeng, a long-lost child of the Su family. The Sheng family was left stunned at that. Everyone's eyes widened. How was that possible? It was impossible. Thank you for your years of nurturing me, old Mr. Sheng. Papa Su said, offering the gift. I don't know what you like, which is why I've brought this precious item as a token of my appreciation. The butler took the gift and handed it to the old man, who was left stunned when he saw it as a national treasure, and the Su family was giving it to him just like that. Moreover, he did not expect that Jingyun was the third son of the Su family and a descendant of a noble family. Even so, the scene of him humiliating Jingyun had just played out here, and now Jingyun's parents were here. How ironic. Everyone in the Sheng family was stunned, save for those who knew about it. The old man could only feel a sense of humiliation and indignation filling his entire body. He never thought that Jingyun had such a background, and yet he... Thank you, you too. Actually, Jingyun is sensible, capable, and very likable. The sound of slaps on the face could be clearly heard in the large living room. The old man was actually boasting shamelessly, calling Su Yifeng a stray dog just moments ago, and calling him a lunatic. And yet, in just a moment, his choice of words had changed dramatically. How laughable. That's right. It took us a long time to find our son, and we want to give him the best things in the world. That's why Huang Yao might have to groom a new assistant, and Feng would return to inherit the family business. Mama Su deliberately said in front of the old man. That would be a great loss for Huang Yao. Mama Su laughed, but noticed that Sheng Minglan's eyes were red and waved at fourth sister. What's wrong, fourth sister? Why are your eyes so red? She's just a kid who likes to cause trouble, so I've scolded her a little. Feng likes that kid, and so do we. I just don't know if old Mr. Sheng would agree to it. The Su family was a renowned family in the medical field. Unless Elder Su's brain was damaged, he wouldn't agree to it. However, considering the situation just now, his words were a different story. Ani, to tell you the truth, Jingyun was bullied quite badly just now. Sheng Minglan seized the chance to tell Mama Su. Grandpa thought that Jingyun had no background and was poor, so he humiliated him and disagreed with us being together. Mama Su's expression changed at that, and she turned to old Sheng. Old mister, why? I didn't know Jingyun's identity, I thought. It said that one shouldn't bully a young man for being poor. Shouldn't an old man look at the young man in the long term? Papa Su promptly cut old Sheng short. And here I thought that Feng would tell you that he is the young master of the Su family. So he didn't. Since the Su family is indebted to you, old mister, we won't hold it against you. Still, Feng is the third young master of the Su family from now on, and naturally wouldn't return to the Sheng family. Of course. As for Minglan, I really like her, but I can see that you really don't want her to be with our Feng. That's why we shouldn't force it. Mama Su said deliberately. I'm really sorry for bothering you today. Old Sheng's expression was awkward, even angry. After all, he was humiliating someone else's child just a second ago, and the next second, someone else's parents came to him. Moreover, Jingyun was no stray dog, but the third young master of the Su family. Butler, see our guests out. The old man did not keep the Su couple. How could he? Oh, by the way, we'll announce that Feng has returned to the Su family. We'll invite guests when the time comes, and we hope that you would do us the honor of coming, old Mr. Sheng. Of course, the old man said with a sheepish smile. After that, the Su couple left, and the old man turned to Xing Xiao again. You did it on purpose. You knew about this all along, didn't you? So what? Xing Xiao retorted. You've always despised the poor and loved the rich. If I don't leave a deep impression on you, how would you know that there's a saying in this world, don't bully the poor when you're young? You can humiliate Jingyun all you want. It's fine. After all, he has all the ways to make trouble for you and take his revenge after he inherits the Su family's business. Unless you're not sick. The old man clutched his chest in frustration and stumbled a few steps back. The Su family is moving to Jianchuan soon. It's fine if you don't agree to fourth sister and Jingyan being together. They would still be together anyway, and it just depends on whether you want to be bullied or thanked. The old man closed his eyes, clearly sensing Sheng Zhao's threat. If the old man did not let Sheng Minglan go, it would be the Sheng family who would suffer when Jingyan took his revenge. Take your time to think about it. Sheng Zhao glanced at the old man before turning to Mama Sheng. Both mother and son shared a look, with a tacit understanding between them. After a while, the old man closed his eyes and told Sheng Minglan, "Go, fourth sister." What else could he do? When Jingyan tried everything he could to persuade him, the old man refused and wanted to humiliate him. But now that he knew who Jingyan was, he could only admit defeat and appease him. Wasn't that despicable? Sheng Minglan glanced at the old man and promptly ran out of the Sheng residence. The old man knew very well how much she hated the old man. His granddaughter was gone. Be that as it may, he did not lose anything by marrying into the Su family in name. Still, he was not sure if Jingyan would hold a grudge for what happened today. Let's go. We've had enough drama. The old man was exhausted. Eighth brother, you really want to see me die? If you're a good grandfather, everyone wants you to live to 100 years old. At those words, the old man turned and left the living room. Of course, Sheng Zhao had a new plan in mind after that. It was time to say goodbye to the Sheng family. Otherwise, there was no guarantee that he and Xiao Qi would not face such a scene one day. He knew very well what the old man was planning. It's treacherous to toy with your grandfather like that. Mama Sheng criticized Sheng Zhao afterward. Still, I have to say that Jingyan is really patient. He didn't even use his status as a bargaining chip under such circumstances. He's too stupid. He thought that the old man would have a hint of mercy, and that his sincerity could move the old man. Your grandfather is actually quite pitiful. Mama Sheng couldn't help sighing at that. It's funny. He was humiliating Jingyan just a second ago, and then, it's really ironic how his faction behaves. Chapter 352. Jingyan wouldn't be feeling much better right now. Muqiqi sighed beside them. The old man had humiliated him and embarrassed him so much. How much tolerance did he have to endure to forgive the old man's actions today? Even if Jingyan was best at tolerance, Mama Sheng turned to look at Muqiqi. Mama Sheng tilted her head and looked at Muqiqi. This child was becoming more and more mature. She was no longer the little girl she first met. Thinking about their future, Mama Sheng said to Sheng Zhao, "Do whatever you want to do. I don't want Muqiqi to have to endure such humiliation. I can't explain it to the Shen family." Sheng Zhao's gaze was as sharp as an eagle's. Holding Muqiqi's hand, he tightened his grip. "Thanks, Mom. Let's go home." Both of them left the Sheng family and returned to Jingting. Right now, Muqiqi was only concerned about Sheng Minglan and whether she could find Jingyan. In the end, Mr. and Mrs. Su were venting for their son, and to let everyone know who he was, they proposed a grand banquet to reintroduce him in front of everyone. As for Jingyan, he was sitting in his car, calming himself. After sitting by the seaside for a long time, he drove home. But when he opened the door, he found Sheng Minglan throwing herself at him tearfully. "I thought you didn't want me anymore." Jingyan took a deep breath in resignation and hugged Sheng Minglan. "I would have done it long ago if I could." "Jingyan, what Grandpa said to hurt you, you wouldn't believe me if I said I didn't mind. I need time." Sheng Minglan nodded tearfully, peeking out of Jingyan's arms and holding his hand tightly. "Grandpa won't interfere with us anymore. He won't interfere in the future either." Jingyan said nothing and simply held Sheng Minglan in his arms again. It was all thanks to the Su family that they could achieve their goals. That was why Jingyan felt that he owed Sheng Minglan. He promised her, but couldn't bring her away, and if not for the Su family, his head would have been separated from his body. It took them a long time to calm down. It was only when Jingyan received a call from his parents that night. Jingyan drove Sheng Minglan back to the Su family's new manor in Jianchuan. His identity had officially changed now. I'm fine." Jing Yun comforted the two elders. I didn't think that you would come in time. It was your brother who suggested that we help you vent your anger. No matter what, you're home now. No one would dare to bully you from now on. Mama Su explained to Jing Yun before pulling them to sit down. Su Yihong sneered as he looked at the family downstairs. No one bullied them? He was the first to bully Jing Yun. Otherwise, would he have let Jing Yun recall the past and expose him in front of his parents? At that thought, Su Yihong went downstairs and told Jing Yun, "Third brother, you don't have to be an assistant to the Sheng family anymore. You should return to the Su family and help your brother with the family business. I don't understand medicine, nor do I understand equipment. You can learn if you don't understand." Su Yihong clapped his hand on Jing Yun's shoulder. "You're so smart and would definitely learn it quickly. Still, you've fallen out with the Sheng family. What do you plan to do, fourth miss? Since you still intend to be with fourth miss, then you can't forget about the necessary etiquette. I'll go to the Sheng family to ask for her hand in marriage in the future." Jing Yun said composedly. "Good." Mama Su nodded. Although she did not like the old man of the Sheng family, she was satisfied with Sheng Minglan as her daughter-in-law. Still, they would have to avoid unnecessary contact with the Sheng family. "Don't leave tonight since you're back." Papa Su urged Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan to stay. "Your brother has prepared a room for you." Jing Yun turned to Su Yihong and thanked him. "Thank you, brother." Be that as it may, there was a hint of wariness. "We're family. No need to be so polite." Su Yihong had changed his strategy and acted like a good brother, but the truth was that he wanted to gain their trust and drive a wedge between Jing Yun and their parents. Was he going to take Jing Yun's life otherwise? Jing Yun glanced at Su Yihong out of the corner of his eye before holding Sheng Minglan's hand tightly. It was only when they were alone in the room that he had Sheng Minglan sit on the edge of the bed while he knelt on one knee. "I'm useless. I can't rely on myself to take you away from the chairman, and I can't really make him acknowledge me. Jing Yun, you've done enough," Sheng Minglan said, stroking his face. "I know what kind of person grandfather is. That attitude of yours is the greatest affirmation for me. There's still a long way to go. One day, grandfather would sincerely show goodwill to you." Jing Yun had gone through all that and was still burdened with hatred. He should have been resentful after being humiliated by the old man, but he had none. "From now on, I'll be wherever you are. I'll never be separated from you." Jing Yun nodded, and the two of them hugged each other tightly. Although they took such a big detour, at least the two of them could finally be together without any obstacles. "Still, are you really leaving eighth brother to join Su Holdings?" "Yes." Jing Yun nodded. "I want to protect you." On this day, Sheng Xiao knew very well that his assistant was really leaving his side. Still, it was not a pressing matter. "You can't bear to lose your assistant?" Mu Qiqi teased Sheng Xiao when she saw him reading the documents from Huang Yao's HR department. "You're treating them like a beauty pageant. Is there anyone you like?" "It's just a bunch of good-for-nothings. It's impossible to find someone like Jing Yun, so I'll just make do with one." With that, Sheng Xiao picked up his glasses from the bedside table and put them on. It was the first time Mu Qiqi saw Sheng Xiao wearing glasses. A good-looking person would naturally look good in everything, and glasses were a plus. "Xiao Xiao, do you think Jing Yun would change when he returns to the Su family?" Sheng Xiao's gaze was sharp as he looked down at Mu Qiqi teasingly. "Why are you so emotional all of a sudden?" "I just feel like I'll lose Jing Yun." Sheng Xiao pinched Mu Qiqi's cheek and put down the documents in his hand, patting her butt. "Go to sleep. Aren't you going to observe with your mentor tomorrow?" "Got it." Mu Qiqi lay in Sheng Xiao's arms and closed her eyes. "I can't help you with anything. You would definitely feel worse facing the old man than Jing Yun." Sheng Xiao said nothing and merely lowered his head to kiss Mu Qiqi's forehead. "You don't know, but you would be the greatest help to me as long as you insist on being yourself. I don't need you to compromise with anyone or anything." Chapter 353. As a matter of fact, Sheng Xiao did not just want an assistant. He also wanted someone who could take on the responsibility to manage Huang Yao. His father might have some tricks up his sleeve, but he lacked charisma. Still, only third brother and fifth brother were doing things in the Sheng family. The other uncles were doing things on their own, and did not treat Huang Yao as a family matter at all. There was also another reason: they were used to being oppressed by the old man. And what was he thinking? He was looking for his father-in-law, Shen Jianchuan, to prepare a path of retreat for him and his little one. It was late at night, and Jianchuan was freezing in the harsh winter. But the old man was sitting stiffly in his study, and did not step out for the entire day. He felt humiliated when he recalled what happened with Jingyun. Why did Jingyun have to be a descendant of the Su family? More terrifyingly, he would have to change his attitude and treat Jingyun politely if he came to the Sheng family after what he had done to humiliate him. That was really embarrassing for him. The old man sighed, but soon received a call from the Gu family, who suggested a meeting with the old man to discuss the matter between Sheng Xiao and Miss Gu in detail. The old man nodded, feeling that there was no time to waste. Otherwise, Sheng Xiao's arrogance would become more and more difficult to suppress. Let's do it this weekend. We'll plan it then. The other party agreed to his suggestion, and hung up. Once Miss Gu agreed to marry into the Sheng family, the old man would immediately find a reason for her to join the Sheng family and familiarize herself with the family. The next day, Mu Qiqi went to school early in the morning. She found her tutor and followed her to the criminal investigation unit. It was said that they had found a corpse with a heavy taste yesterday, and that they would conduct an autopsy today to determine the identity and time of death. Although Mu Qiqi had seen the corpse several times, it was always acceptable. But this time, it was said that the corpse had turned into a giant. And the so-called giant meant that the corpse was so badly decomposed that it had expanded, making it look like a giant. Of course, it was so disgusting that its eyeballs were squeezed out of its face. It was so rotten that anyone who saw it wouldn't stop vomiting. Even Mu Qiqi, who is usually calm, threw up by the pool when she saw it. The few senior brothers had vomited a few times and were comforting each other. Look at you. You're such a good wife of a rich family. Why are you so stubborn and willing to suffer with us? Mu Qiqi perked up, but when she turned to look at the corpse, she vomited again. Seeing this, the tutor finally smiled. Seeing how calm you were previously, I really thought that your mental fortitude was really strong. I didn't expect. It's fine. I'll be fine after vomiting. Mu Qiqi rinsed her mouth and wiped her mouth. Then, she continued listening to the forensic analysis. Fortunately, when his gaze was focused on a specific area, it wasn't so uncomfortable. Still, Mu Qiqi did not look too good when she vomited like that. There was no telling how Sheng Xiao would feel when he saw that. That morning, Sheng Xiao did not arrive at Huang Yao on time. He did not bring Mu Qiqi with him, and went to the Shuns on his own. When Huang Yu saw that, she thought that Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi had a conflict. She quickly went to Grandpa Sheng, but Sheng Xiao explained, Xiao Qi has always been the one bullying me. When did I not spoil her? It's hard to say. Huang Yu was not easy to fool. How intelligent was Sheng Xiao? Was there anyone in Jianchuan who did not know? Sheng Xiao smiled and went to Grandpa Shen's fish pond. However, the old man was not there today. He had gone to visit his comrades, and only Shen Jianchuan was there. Looking for Grandpa? For you, Sheng Xiao said, leaning against a wooden pillar in the pavilion. I don't think I have any reason to refuse what you suggested before. Are you sure you don't even want your status as the crown prince? Shen Jianchuan asked in return. In fact, he had already guessed that Huang Yao was not a cage that would imprison Sheng Xiao given his personality. I just want to give Qi a clean future, Sheng Xiao replied, looking at Shen Jianchuan. But I have to prepare first, and Huang Yao needs to deal with the aftermath. If your grandfather knows that you want to start your own business with me, do you think he would have a heart attack? Father-in-law, don't be so sarcastic. Sheng Xiao was displeased. I have a document with me.
Take a look at it.
Combining the connections and status the Shen family has accumulated over the years, as well as your expertise, I think this line of work is the most suitable for us. Incidentally, there are 2 military enterprises that are about to close in the suburbs of Jianchuan. Buying them would not be a problem. Sheng Xiao was intrigued. Do you want to see my ability to negotiate a partnership? Shen Jianchuan shrugged. deal with the aftermath well. We can't let the old man hate us. That depends on him. Sheng Zhao's meaning was self-evident. If the old man showed restraint, he would do his best to bring Huang Yao to new heights before handing it over to the Sheng family. But if the old man became even worse, not even the gods could hold back. Don't let Xiaoqi know about this for now. She has a soft heart and would easily feel guilty towards the old man. I will arrange everything properly. Shun Jianchuan certainly had no reason to doubt Sheng Zhao's ability. With the two of them together, there would be another storm. Sheng Zhao planned to take care of both sides, and naturally would not let anyone know that he and Shen Jianchuan were up to something else. He knew all too well that she would have more and more freedom as he climbed higher and higher. In the end, the two men were only doing it to protect the person most important to them. In the afternoon, at the Su residence, while Sheng Minglan was napping in her room, Mama Su called Jingyan to a corner and told him, "Since you're living with Minglan, you should settle things as soon as possible so that outsiders wouldn't gossip. You should settle things with Minglan now that your identity has been revealed, but before that, you have to go to the Sheng family to propose marriage." "I know, Mother. I'll prepare a gift for you. Bring more people with you when the time comes, and don't lose face as the young master of the Su family." Mama Su was actually afraid that Jingyun would be bullied by the Sheng family again. "Incidentally, I have some matters to settle with the Sheng family. Don't go overboard for Minglan's sake. Just know your limits." Jingyun nodded. At the very least, he had to go to Jingting and hand over everything. Chapter 354. Mu Qiqi's complexion was terrible when she reached home. Her stomach had been emptied, so how could she be spirited? She had thought that her complexion would improve if she rested while Sheng Xiao was not home. But how could she have known that Sheng Xiao did not go to Huang Yao today? Sheng Xiao's face fell when he saw Mu Qiqi's pale little face. "Come here." "No, I really stink today, more than ever before." Mu Qiqi refused and hugged herself. "I'm going to take a shower. The perfume specially made for you has been delivered to the house. It's in the bathroom, but come here first." Sheng Xiao called out to her patiently. Helpless, Mu Qiqi could only walk to Sheng Xiao and sit beside him. Sheng Xiao pulled her into his arms, cupped her face and studied it carefully. "Vomiting?"
"Yeah."
Mu Qiqi nodded and suddenly went limp in Sheng Xiao's arms. "It's disgusting. It's a male corpse today, and it's been more than 20 days since he died. The degree of decomposition is already colossal. Little one." Sheng Xiao's heart ached. He knew what a forensic doctor's job was and what they had to face. Such vomiting was a common occurrence, and there was no telling how long it would take for the little one to really adapt. Could it be that he would have to see her vomiting so pale every day? Sheng Xiao hugged his little one for a while before patting her head. "Go take a shower. I'll have Aunt Wu make you something good for your stomach. But there should be a smell on your body." Sheng Xiao did not allow her to argue, and simply put down the documents and picked Mu Qiqi up. Both of them went to the bathroom and soaked in the water. Fortunately, the specially made perfume made Mu Qiqi feel much better. What good stuff. Wouldn't it be great if forensic doctors could enjoy it? You ungrateful little one. Do you know how expensive one bottle is? Sheng Xiao could not help poking her nose. The happiness of the rich is truly unimaginable. Mu Qiqi sighed as she lay in the water. Since Mu Qiqi's stomach was empty, Sheng Xiao did not let her keep soaking in the water and simply wrapped her up in a towel before carrying her to the bed. "Why didn't you go to Huang Yao today?" "I'm waiting for Jingyun to come. He's the young master of the Su family now. There's no need for him to enter Huang Yao personally." It sounds a little businesslike. How can there be someone who stays the same? The environment will change, and you have to learn to accept it. Hadn't Mu Qiqi accepted enough along the way? Now that she was the granddaughter of the Shin family and Sheng Zhao's fiancé, she also had her own responsibilities. She had never really treated herself as a crystal in Sheng Zhao's palm that would shatter at the slightest touch. Then, there shouldn't be any problems with fourth sister and Jing Yun's marriage. After a while, Aunt Wu told them outside the door. "Young master, young madam, special assistant Jing is here." "Dry it yourself. It has to be completely dry. Xing Xiao put the hairdryer in Muqiqi's hand and changed into a clean set of clothes before heading downstairs. When Jingyan arrived at Jingting, he was carrying a lot of documents. Apart from the ones Xing Xiao had to read, the rest were handled by Jingyun. Young master, Huang Yao has already suspended me from my duties, so there's no need to go through the formalities. You're still calling me young master? Xing Xiao found the documents amusing. You're a disciple of a noble family now. You don't have to lower yourself. To me, you'll always be my young master. Jingyun maintained his humble attitude toward Xing Xiao. When are you going to tell me about fourth sister? In 2 days, I'll go to the Sheng family to ask for her hand in marriage. Jingyun replied. When the time comes, I'll marry Minglan openly. The old man doesn't have time to care about you too, because this outcome isn't too bad for him. Still, you'd better straighten your posture. You're not the one begging him now. Xing Xiao said lazily. I understand. I really shouldn't have sent sixth brother away. Let him open his eyes. At that thought, Xing Xiao suddenly had a mischievous idea. Why don't I send him back? There's no need, young master. You have to keep an eye on your brother. He wouldn't let you stay in the Su family for too long because you're a ticking time bomb to him. Xing Xiao reminded Jingyun. I understand. I'm doing everything I can to investigate his relationship with eldest uncle. It would be perfect if I could take off this person's mask during the reunion banquet. Even so, Su Yihong was not that easy to deal with. All right, put it down and go back to work. You have to start anew after joining Su Holdings, and Huang Yao has nothing to do with you anymore. You and the Sheng family owe each other nothing. After all, the Sheng family had raised Jingyun for so many years. Moreover, he had contributed much to the Sheng family as well, and this exchange was to lighten the burden in his heart. Young master, can we still be like before? What do you want to change? Xing Xiao raised a brow at him. By the way, treat fourth sister better. Jingyun nodded and turned to leave Jingting. His current status was no longer what it used to be. Still, when he thought of sixth brother, Xing Xiao had someone tactfully spread the news that Jingyun and Sheng Minglan were going to marry each other, even if Jingyun didn't mind, although he did not tell him Jingyun's true identity. He even found an excuse to send him back to the country. He just wanted to see how sixth brother would call Jingyun a dog in front of his face. Meanwhile, when the old man learned that Jingyun had handed over matters of Huang Yao, he had to accept that Jingyun was now the young master of the Su family. Soon, the weekend came. Since old Sheng had an appointment with the Gu family, he left early in the morning, with no one knowing his whereabouts. It was naturally best for him to be as discreet as possible. What would happen if Xing Xiao found out? The Gu family sent Miss Gu's mother, and they met in a private room of a hotel. Sharing a glance, they knew that they were on the same wavelength. Old Sheng spoke first. Madam Gu, you must be aware of my eighth brother's current situation. It's unbecoming of him to be obsessed with a teenage girl. Who in Jianchuan doesn't know that? Mama Gu nodded, indicating that she understood what the old man was thinking. That's why we were really surprised when you came to us. To tell you the truth, my Xiling has the same problem. She used to like a poor brat, and for the sake of this man, she almost died. A few days ago, the two of them finally broke up, so I brought up the matter with Xiling. I never thought that she would actually agree. After all, how many young ladies in Jianchuan could resist the crown prince's charm? Chapter 355. It's not that we don't want to, we just have to wait for the right time. That said, I do hope that Miss Gu could join the Sheng family as soon as possible and learn how to manage the family. Old Sheng told Mama Gu politely. As long as old Mr. Sheng could pave the way for Xiling soon, I would do my best to persuade you. That's settled then. The two agreed. As for what old Sheng would come up with to separate Xing Xiao and Muqiqi, the Gu family would wait and see. Sixth brother had gone all the way to Africa. When he learned that Jingyun and Sheng Minglan were about to get married, he was left fuming. The young lady of the Sheng family, the great fourth miss, was actually marrying a penniless wretch. He really wanted to know what spell Jingyun had cast on the old man that he would agree to the marriage, even though the old man had always valued sectarianism. That was why he really could not hold back, even if Xing Xiao forbade him from going home. Had his grandfather gone mad? No one had told sixth brother Jingyun's identity, and no one in Jianchuan was aware that Jingyun was the third young master of the Su family. Still, when he saw that he had immediately booked a flight home and remembered his pitiful sister who had been chased out of the family, why did eighth brother and his dog get to have their wishes fulfilled? Was he not convinced? Meanwhile, Jingyun's plan to propose marriage to the Sheng family had been settled. Still, he had not thought about how he should behave when he met old Sheng. Meanwhile, the old man was utterly reluctant when he learned that Jingyun was going to the Sheng family, even if he was not against the marriage between Jingyun and fourth sister. Even so, he had to make the necessary arrangements. On the night of the next day, the old man had the Sheng family return for a banquet. Soon, Jingyun arrived with gifts, but he did not come alone this time. He had brought 4 bodyguards, and that was not counting the attendants who had helped him with the gifts. As expected, a person would become completely different once he gained power. Even the way you looked at him would change. Jingyun is really different now that he's the young master of the Su family. That's right. The 4 bodyguards are clearly stopping the Sheng family from insulting him again. I've seen the gifts too. They're all very valuable. As the Sheng family discussed in private, the old man turned to Jingyun. Jingyun was still the same old Jingyun, cold and aloof. Jingyun, why didn't you tell us who you were earlier? In this way, the incident on that day would not have happened. It doesn't matter if I'm a member of the Su family or not. I sincerely want to marry Minglan. Jingyun answered the old man. He had never sat at the guest seat in the Sheng family for so many years. But that's not the same. The old man told Jingyun honestly. You have to understand how much effort I put in as a grandfather. Minglan is a fine young lady. If I let her marry a bad man, how could I face her parents? So, am I worthy of Minglan now? Jingyun asked old Sheng in return. That's for sure, the old man replied. Since you've come to propose today, we'll let bygones be bygones. Since you've come, it means that you're determined to marry Minglan. With that being the case, let's sit down and talk about the date of your wedding. But before that, I hope that everyone in Jianchuan knows about you, the young master of the Su family. Jingyun hated every word that came out of the old man's mouth. Reputation, profit, those were all the old man cared about, and never cared if Minglan was living well. That was why he had to come today. He would free Minglan from the abyss of misery that was the Sheng family. Eighth brother doesn't seem to be here tonight. The old man looked around but did not see either of them. He has always thought of you as a brother. Why isn't he here on such an important day? And why isn't Minglan home when we're clearly talking about your wedding? Jingyun thought about it for a moment before answering the old man. Because she said that she doesn't want to come back, she's more at home with the Su family. How can you talk to your father like that, Jingyun? Fourth uncle retorted coldly. Those are Minglan's words. Fourth sister hasn't married into the Su family yet. But in my heart, she's already my wife. Jingyun was neither servile nor overbearing. He no longer had the dejection of an assistant of the Sheng family, and now had a new identity. Fourth Uncle Sheng was left speechless. That was when Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi appeared before the crowd. Sorry we're late. Since you're back, let's talk about fourth sister and Jingyun's wedding. The old man told Xing Xiao. Of course, Mu Qiqi had no place in his eyes at all. I'm only concerned about how much dowry you've prepared for fourth sister. Xing Xiao raised a brow. That was when sixth brother rushed back to the Sheng family's residence, only to find Jingyun in the living room. Dropping his luggage, he went up and grabbed Jingyun's collar, only to be thrown over his shoulder by Jingyun's bodyguard, who landed heavily on the ground. Sixth brother rose to his feet in pain and pointed at Jingyun's nose, barking, "You pathetic dog. How dare you sit here? Don't tell me you really want something to happen with fourth sister? I'm telling you, that's impossible. This is the Sheng family." Shut up, sixth brother. The old man was furious. He had been avoiding an awkward situation all night, but he did not expect that sixth brother's return would catch him off guard. Grandfather, what kind of magic potion did eighth brother feed you? Sixth young master, he's innocent. I won't hold a grudge against him. Jingyun said magnanimously then. But the tone of his voice was clearly sharp. That was when sixth brother laughed. Who do you think you are? Those who don't know are innocent? What a joke. Sixth brother. That's the third young master of the Su family. Don't you be rude. The old man couldn't hold back any longer and told sixth brother the truth. Jingyun is no longer the Jingyun you used to be. Don't embarrass me. At that, sixth brother pointed at Jingyun and laughed. Him? Don't tell me he's impersonating you to get your approval? Look at him, grandfather. How does he look like a young master of a rich family? Xing Xiao said nothing in response and simply looked at Jingyun. Chapter 356. Sixth brother apologized to Jingyun. The old man instructed. Grandfather, I told you to apologize. You already know who he is, and yet you're still causing trouble. Don't the Su family know how to verify his identity? The Su family has already verified Jingyun's identity, so stop causing trouble for the Sheng family. Sixth brother was promptly stunned at the old man's words, a look of disbelief on his face. He's actually the son of a rich family. He's really become a phoenix. Apologized to Jingyun. Sixth brother was utterly indignant, but still walked up to Jingyun and said, I was being rude just now. I hope you won't hold it against me, young Master Su. Jingyun rose from his chair, picked up the teacup beside him, and poured tea over sixth brother's head right in front of the Sheng family. Now we're even. Jingyun, don't be so condescending now that you're in power. Sixth brother was furious. If it wasn't for Minglan, I would have turned you into a dog and barked in front of me instead of just a cup of tea. Muqiqi looked at Jingyun, and then at Xing Xiao beside her. As the saying goes, one is marked by the company one keeps. Jingyun was really the same as her, having inherited Xing Xiao's disdain for everyone around him. Alright, it's a good day today. Jingyun, you're here to propose marriage, so it's best not to strain your relationship with the Sheng family. After all, this is fourth sister's maiden home. However, it was not just Jingyun. Even Sheng Minglan herself had never considered the Sheng family as a maternal family she could rely on. To put it bluntly, Jingyun was simply informing the old man that he was marrying Sheng Minglan. If the Su family was happy, they would simply invite the old man over for a drink. If they were unhappy, they would simply settle the matter, leaving the Sheng family with no drama to play. After being humiliated, sixth brother turned to glare at Xing Xiao resentfully. After all, he was convinced that Xing Xiao must have given him the wrong information to lure him back so that he could avenge Jingyun right in front of him. After all, he had always called out to Jingyun as a dog. The Su family's reunion banquet is in a few days. I'm planning to announce my relationship with Minglan there too. That's for the best. If the people of Jianchuan didn't know about Jingyun's identity, he couldn't afford to lose face and spread rumors that his granddaughter was having an affair with a servant. When the time comes, I hope that all of you will come. That night, the old man learned how different Jingyun was after becoming a member of the Su family. That was why he liked power so much. It was because only those with power had the right to speak. Just look at Jingyun now. Wasn't he just a matter of opening his mouth if he wanted something? There was no need to be as desperate as before. Soon, Jingyun left with his bodyguards, and that was when sixth brother pointed at Xing Xiao. It's you. You deliberately spread the news to me and lured me here. You're the one who doesn't have a brain. Why are you blaming me? Xing Xiao smiled in return. There's a saying that goes, every dog has its day. You used to look down on Jingyun and his background, but from now on, you'll suffer as long as he tries to get back at you. You probably never thought that this day would come when you called him a dog. There was hatred in sixth brother's eyes. What he hated most was being treated like a puppet by Xing Xiao and manipulated as he pleased. Let's go home, Qi. Holding Muqiqi's hand, Xing Xiao followed Jingyun out of the Sheng residence. At this time, the old man looked at the backs of the two people as they left. He had a meaningful look on his face. The Gu family had agreed to it, and Miss Gu had given her consent. After Sheng Minglan's matter was settled, it would be Xing Zhao's turn anyway. He was still thinking that he could bring Miss Gu to the Sheng family on his birthday, and when that time comes, Mu Qiqi would have to give way to Miss Gu, but Mu Qiqi wasn't the kind of person who would give way. She still wanted to hold the title of Sheng Zhao's woman for life. Don't bother with Sheng Xiao and that Mu Qiqi now. You won't be around for long. Old Sheng told Sixth Brother. Sixth Brother wasn't smart, but he caught the meaning in the old man's words. Grandfather, you're saying, don't be so flustered. It's only a matter of time. Sixth Brother cleared the tea leaves off his head, and only then did he feel better. Sheng Xiao, Mu Qiqi. Let's see how long you can keep being arrogant. Soon, Jing Yun returned to the Su residence, where Sheng Minglan and Mama Su were waiting for him in the living room. Did everything go well? Reasonably speaking, your father and I should show up, but I don't want to give that old man so much face. Don't worry. Everything went well, Jing Yun replied. Go upstairs with Minglan and get some rest. Mama Su urged them. Still, you have to be careful. Even if it's nothing new to get married with a child, you have to consider your father's face and restrain yourself before the wedding. Sheng Minglan blushed at those words. Jing Yun held Sheng Minglan's hand and led her to their bedroom. You don't have to go back as long as you don't have to interact with the Sheng family. Sheng Minglan reached out and hugged Jing Yun, nodding in his arms. You're holding back for me, aren't you? I'm not like young master in the first place. I can't do such a flashy vengeance, and as long as the Sheng family doesn't make things difficult for me, I won't target them since I owe them a debt. We'll start all over from now on. They hugged each other resolutely, but Jing Yun kept Mama Su's words in mind. He wanted to give Sheng Minglan a wedding like no other, and she wouldn't look good in a wedding dress if she was pregnant. I'll marry you soon. Mu Qiqi never imagined that there would be a day when Jing Yun would treat someone like that, pouring tea over Sixth Brother's head. Even now, when he recalled that scene, he would still feel extremely satisfied. Did I tell you to stay in bed after your bath so you could laugh? Sheng Xiao returned to the bedroom with a towel wrapped around his waist, promptly pinching Mu Qiqi's nose when he saw her smile. Mu Qiqi pulled off his towel and squeezed herself into his arms. I was laughing at Grandpa's compromising look. Sheng Xiao wrapped his arms around her, only to find that his little one wasn't wearing pajamas either. Hence, he lifted her chin and asked, What are you doing? Mu Qiqi's eyes sparkled with extreme infatuation as she looked at Sheng Xiao. What do you think? I want you to tell me. Chapter 357. Old Sheng was wary of the Su family's background, which was why he agreed to Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan's marriage. Still, he did not specifically bother Sheng Xiao or Mu Qiqi, which left Sheng Xiao puzzled. With the old man's volatile temper, the first person he would deal with after Sheng Minglan's matter would be Sheng Zhao's qi. Even so, the old man had not made a move until now, which was rather unusual. Sheng Xiao had Mama Sheng pay special attention to the old man's movements, but aside from the few times he left the house without letting his family know, there was really nothing out of the ordinary. His birthday was in March, and Sheng Xiao would definitely be on his guard. Of course, no one knew that the great crown prince of Huangyao was already preparing to shift his focus to do something great with his father-in-law. Be that as long as the old man did not go overboard, he would not tell anyone about it. But if the old man really did something else to Mu Qiqi, there was nothing he could do. Meanwhile, the Su couple had asked Su Yihong to arrange an appropriate position for Jing Yun in Su Holdings. Su Yihong agreed to help his younger brother as well, and let Jing Yun know what aspects Su Holdings was involved in as soon as possible. That was a breakthrough point for Su Yihong against Jing Yun. Since your identity is still unknown, I can't put you in a position that's too obvious. I could only have you work at the grassroots level and get a general idea of Su Holdings. You've thought it through, brother, Jing Yun said to Su Yihong discreetly. At the end of the day, Su Yihong was just using this method to provoke Jing Yun. The young master of the Su family was actually being assigned to the most basic of positions. It would be a humiliation for anyone, and he wanted Jing Yun to complain to the Su couple. That way, he could easily incite conflict between Jing Yun and his parents. But he was wrong. First, Jing Yun knew that he was the mastermind behind his abandonment, which was why he knew that the old man would deliberately set a trap for him. Second, Jingyun was not an impetuous person. Moreover, he believed that he should be in contact with the lowest levels of Su holdings. Everything should be learned from the basics, which was why he did not find it humiliating. After all, the people of Jianchuan recognized his ability and knew that he was not a good-for-nothing. Therefore, Su Yihong's move was, in truth, nothing more than shooting himself in the foot in the end. Even so, he had to hurry up and investigate the connection between Su Yihong and the eldest uncle of the Su family. At this time, Lin Mu had just returned to school and was about to face the holidays again. However, he did not want to go back to the Lin family. That was why he called Lu Qianqian on the first night of the holidays. "I'm on vacation, little pepper. You have no sympathy at all. You know I ran away from home, and yet you leave me to fend for myself. What else?" Lu Qianqian changed her clothes while talking to Lin Mu and on the phone. "I don't believe that you really have nowhere to go. I used to have a lot of friends, but they are all fair-weather friends. I'm afraid they won't agree to stay with me now," Lin Mu replied. "Who told you to lose power?" Lu Qianqian wanted to bite him through the phone. "You have a month's holiday, right? And are you really not going back to the Lin family for the new year?" "I don't want to," Lin Mu answered Lu Qianqian very firmly. "If I go back to the Lin family, Grandpa will come up with all kinds of traps and tricks to stop me from going back to the police academy. I don't want to take the risk anymore. If that's the case, I'll reluctantly accept you." Lu Qianqian pretended to sigh. "You can be my bodyguard for this month. I'm lacking a sparring partner and a punching bag anyway. Then where should I stay? Your little boudoir? The storeroom suits you quite well. What do you think?" Lu Qianqian drove Lin Mu to the police academy gates, and they left together. Meanwhile, Grandpa Lin's hands trembled uncontrollably as he watched his grandson being taken away by Lu Qianqian. Those two are still in contact after all, since that animal wants to suffer. I'll fulfill his wish. Lin Mu kept feeling a cold breeze blowing at him from behind, and wondered if he was being overly suspicious. "To tell the truth, I just need a simple place to stay. It's about the same as the police academy. I'll gladly endure it." Tisk tsk. A young master of the Lin family is actually freeloading off a woman like me. Didn't I say that I'll be your bodyguard? Lin Mu's training these days had yielded great results. "When I graduate from the police academy, you'll be the biggest contributor." Lu Qianqian smiled mockingly at Lin Mu "Then I'll have to trouble you, young Master Lin." In fact, Lu Qianqian had prepared a small apartment for Lin Mu. It was a very simple apartment. The two walked around the small apartment and then sat in the living room to drink, just like the last time at the hotel. As expected, "You're my best friend." Lu Qianqian looked at Lin Mu. He had become sturdier, and his figure had become better. He looked much more manly now. "Then how are you going to introduce me to a girlfriend you like in the future?" Lu Qianqian asked Lin Mu, holding a bottle of wine. Lin Mu put his arm around Lu Qianqian's neck and said half-drunk, "I'll break up with anyone who doesn't accept you as my best friend." Lu Qianqian's heart skipped a beat at that. Not many women would accept their boyfriend to have a female confidant. "So what?" "I like it." Lin Mu's alcohol tolerance was actually very good, but he was outclassed by Lu Qianqian, who had cultivated herself. So, when Lin Mu collapsed on the floor, Lu Qianqian was still very sober. Watching Lin Mu's sleeping face, Lu Qianqian leaned over the table and whispered, "Me too. If anyone dares to say anything about your existence, I'll tell them to get lost." With that, she picked up a blanket from the bed and put it over Lin Mu. "Good night, future Officer Lin, little pepper." Lin Mu smiled in his sleep. "I'll protect you for the rest of my life. I'll protect my best friend." "Idiot." Lu Qianqian scolded him with a smile and returned home late at night. Because she didn't want to be caught and humiliated by old Master Lin once more, when she got home, Mama Lu smelled alcohol on her and advised her, "Qianqian, don't give up on yourself because of what happened in the past." "What are you thinking, Mom?" "I'm drinking with Lin Mu and..." Lu Qianqian quickly explained. "He's left the Lin family and doesn't even have a place to stay. I can't just stand by as he and I are friends, and I've taken him in as my bodyguard. Really, just friends? Mama Lu confirmed with Lu Qianqian. Chapter 358. Old Sheng wanted Mu Qiqi to give up her position to Miss Gu, but he had to mend his relationship with Mu Qiqi and eighth brother before that, or he wouldn't have the chance to get close to Mu Qiqi at all. After all, he knew very well that the harder he treated eighth brother, the more Xing Xiao would retaliate. Of course, he couldn't be friendly to them for no reason. Given how smart eighth brother was, wouldn't that be telling him that he had something to gain from it? He had to set it up meticulously to avoid Sheng Xiao's suspicion. Mending their relationship could be done at the same time as contacting Miss Gu. Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao had transferred second brother back from abroad to groom the person in charge of Huang Yao. His excuse was that Jingyun had returned to the Su family and he needed someone capable to share the burden. Second brother had always been convinced of Sheng Xiao's ability and had been diligent and never slacking off over the years. Since Sheng Xiao had summoned him this time, he naturally had to find someone abroad to handle the handover. And in Sheng Xiao's mind, second brother had more than enough talent, but he wasn't ruthless enough. Still, that wasn't a problem. At the very least, he was 100 times better than a good-for-nothing like sixth brother. Old Sheng didn't notice anything amiss with Sheng Xiao's excuse. He was naturally happy that another grandson was coming home, but he would never know that Sheng Xiao was smarter than he imagined, and more meticulous as well. Wouldn't the few times he went out without telling the Sheng family that he was meeting people attract suspicion? The old man simply believed that he was in control of the situation. In the evening, Mu Qiqi had dinner with Sheng Xiao, and the two of them sat in the study, each busy with their own matters. Watching Mu Qiqi's back as she wrote her report, Sheng Xiao suddenly smiled and reached out to pull her into his arms. I'm going to the airport tomorrow to meet second brother of the Sheng family. Mu Qiqi could tell from Sheng Xiao's expression that second brother wasn't a bad person since he was going to the airport. Jing Yun's gone. Did you ask him to come back and help you? Sheng Xiao hummed softly in acknowledgement. He had not revealed anything to Mu Qiqi until now. Mu Qiqi studied Sheng Xiao carefully and smiled slyly. Are you hiding something from me? When Sheng Xiao heard that, he suddenly became playful. How did you know that? Who can tell what you're thinking? Mu Qiqi snorted. I just have this intuition. If you can't see anything, go take a shower. Sheng Xiao patted her head. I'll take you to see your aunt tomorrow. All right. Sheng Xiao's smile deepened as he watched Mu Qiqi get up. He wanted to protect the little one's ever-happy smile the most. He did not want her to change her quirky personality just because she had to face the Sheng family. She had promised Shen Jianchuan that she would make Mu Qiqi happy in the Sheng family. But now, he was afraid that this wish could not be realized. The strength he used on the old man could totally be used to rebuild an empire. Since that was the case, why fight that tough battle again? After Mu Qiqi went upstairs, Sheng Xiao put down the documents in his hand and called his father-in-law. I've read the resumes of these people. That Su Che meets my requirements. You're quite picky. Su Che was a retired Special Forces soldier. Shen Jianchuan smiled. Still, being your assistant doesn't require extraordinary abilities. All right, I'll arrange for you to meet him later. But aren't you going to tell Mu Qiqi? She would know when the time is right. Since it is a military enterprise, it is not like Huang Yao, which needs to understand management and diamonds. He chose Su Che because Su Che knows a lot of weapons, which ordinary assistants can't catch up to. Moreover, if there is an emergency, Su Che can protect himself and Chi-er.
Good boy.
Good. He'll report to you in 2 days. As a matter of fact, the person Sheng Xiao should be communicating with the most was his mother. However, he knew that Mama Sheng would definitely be suspicious of his arrangements, which was why he did not have to tell her. The next day, the couple went to the airport to pick up Sheng Xiao. When Mu Qiqi saw second brother, she immediately understood why Sheng Xiao would think of him as an elder brother. Since they were cousins, they certainly shared some similarities. On the other hand, this brother of his had clear eyes and was frank with others, which suited Sheng Xiao's taste at first glance. You must be the youngest sister-in-law, Mu Qiqi? Second brother extended a hand to Muchichi. Your name really rings like thunder. Muchichi shook his hand and smiled. You're flattering me. I'm really sorry that I didn't even come when you got engaged. Still, so many things have happened at home while I was abroad. It feels like a lifetime has passed, especially Jing Yun's matter. You're probably not used to it without him, are you? What do you think? Sheng Xiao lifted a brow at second brother. Then I'll come back and take over Jing Yun's job as your assistant. No, I have other arrangements for my assistant. You're more suited for another position. Sheng Xiao said mysteriously. Second brother appeared puzzled. Although he had always been impressed by eighth brother's intelligence, he was afraid that he could not have the rapport with Sheng Xiao like Jing Yun did with someone smart. Both brothers were dressed in black tailored suits and had tall and slender figures. Still, Sheng Xiao exuded a dangerous aura from inside out. The old man was very happy as well, and prepared a sumptuous dinner to welcome his grandson back home. That night, the old man ignored Muchichi's existence and focused on enjoying family time with his grandson. Of course, the fact that he did not bother Muchichi was already the greatest gift to her. But Muchichi did not know that it was the beginning of the old man's change in attitude toward her. After dinner, Mama Sheng winked at Sheng Xiao, and the two of them went to the Sheng family's golf course. Eighth brother, you called your second brother back and want to recommend him to be the vice president. Do you have other plans? No one knows a son better than a mother. Sheng Xiao smiled at Mama Sheng. Mom, did you know that the old man had been meeting some mysterious people behind the Sheng family's back recently? What does he mean?
You'll have to ask him about that.
Sheng Xiao answered meaningfully. I have to leave a path of retreat for you and Qi. Don't say anything in the Sheng family. Qi, doesn't know about it either. You're keeping it from Xiao Qi. Chapter 359. Then what do you need me to do? Sheng Xiao turned to look at his mother. You don't have to do anything. Just be like before. But Mom, you have to make a choice. Stay with the Sheng family or leave. Mama Sheng took a deep breath and nodded. I'll think about it. Muchichi could not help frowning when she saw them return from the golf course. Are you whispering to Mom?
What?
Are you jealous? Sheng Xiao asked in return. Is there anything I can't know? Although Muchichi knew that Sheng Xiao had many secrets in his heart, it was the first time he avoided her like that. The little one is getting harder to manage. She's getting more scheming too. I'll tell you in the future, but I have to keep it a secret for now. Sheng Xiao said, hugging her and bidding farewell to the rest of the Sheng family before leaving with Muchichi. Since Sheng Xiao had explained it, Muchichi did not have to mind. All she wanted was an attitude from him. On the other hand, the old man finally had a good impression of Sheng Xiao because he was willing to help his brother. That was because he never imagined that Sheng Xiao would have the idea of independence and believed that the crown prince would take over Huang Yao no matter what. But he simply did not know that Huang Yao held no weight in Sheng Xiao's heart. 2 days later, the young man named Su Che reported to Jingting. Muchichi asked Sheng Xiao in confusion when she saw how young and strong he was. Don't I have a bodyguard? This is my new assistant, Sheng Xiao told Muchichi. Su Che. Chief Sheng, young madam. Su Che bowed to them like a soldier. How old is this kid? You've been hired as an assistant. Muchichi could not be blamed for being puzzled. Su Che was born with a baby face and was very popular in the army because of his fair and tender face. Su Che, tell your young madam how old you are. Sheng Xiao could not help sneering. I'm 23. Su Che quickly answered. Damn, I thought you were only 18. Without realizing it, Muchichi gave Su Che a thumbs up. You guys talk. I'm going upstairs to freshen up. Even then, Muchichi did not find it strange. After all, Jing Yun often came to Jingting, but she did not know that the difference between Su Che and Jing Yun was that Su Che would never appear in Huang Yao, because Su Che was on Sheng Xiao and Xin Jianchuan's side. Moreover, he would only help Sheng Xiao with matters on that side. Su Che, although you're my assistant, Xiao Qi, comes first in everything. As long as it involves her, you have to put her first. Secondly, you don't have to answer Xiao Qi, Ours questions now. I will tell her in the future. I understand, Chief Sheng. Sheng Xiao trusted a soldier's strict style. After all, he had learned about Su Che's performance in the army. Since that's the case, you should be more careful in the future. In public, try to pretend that you don't know me. This was naturally a piece of cake for a soldier. Sheng Xiao was very satisfied with Su Che. After all, he was someone his father-in-law had selected. Of course, he was better than those good-for-nothings outside. Meanwhile, at the Su residence, Su Yihong had assigned Jing Yun to the Su family's purchasing department. According to him, he wanted Jing Yun to quickly familiarize himself with what the Su family did for a living and how they got their stuff. He wouldn't let Jing Yun go to the sales department or the Su family's R&D department, leaving Jing Yun hanging in suspense. Moreover, the people in the purchasing department were not aware of Jing Yun's identity and were very curious about this employee who had been dropped in out of nowhere. Seeing that Su Yihong had arranged for Jing Yun, Mr. and Mrs. Su asked him while Jing Yun was not home, "What are you thinking?" "Mom, I want third brother to try out every department. That way, you would be able to see if he's capable, and it would be the fastest way for him to familiarize himself with Su Holdings. There are many ways to familiarize himself with Su Holdings, and we have enough specialists. Moreover, he had been with the Crown Prince of Huangyao for so long. Why are you still doubting his ability?" "Mom, trust me. I can take care of my brother." Mama Su was about to say something else, but Papa Su stopped her. "Yihong is right. Let Fenger try." The truth was that he did not want Su Yihong to think that he had neglected his eldest son's feelings after finding Jing Yun. And since Su Yihong had chosen to do so, he was naturally confident that his parents would agree. As for whether Jing Yun would feel wronged, it was none of his business. Jing Yun knew what Su Yihong was thinking. Moreover, Su Yihong had clearly instructed the people in the purchasing department to give him a hard time. Was he trying to test his patience? Did he not know how easy it was for the purchasing department to make mistakes? Sheng Minglan, on the other hand, was working at her own company as usual. Still, Jing Yun did not tell her about it, or she would never let it go. Still, what kind of people had he not seen after working for Sheng Xiao for so many years? That was why he installed an invisible camera on his computer on the second day he joined the purchasing department. Naturally, he wanted to know who was human and who was a ghost. Still, the purchasing department was unaware that Su Yihong had personally given the order to suppress Jing Yun. They simply listened to the orders from above, and Jing Yun would naturally not blame Su Yihong when the time came. Hence, someone came to test the clarity of the camera just after it was installed. Seizing the opportunity when Jing Yun was not around, he splashed a cup of water on the purchasing list his supervisor had just given him. It was a manuscript, and Jing Yun was supposed to check it against the list on the computer, but now, the manuscript was soaked in water. Jing Yun laughed coldly when he saw it from his phone in the pantry, before returning to his post. At the moment, his colleagues looked as if they did not know what was going on. Even so, Jing Yun was not used to their habit, and promptly put the soaked manuscript in front of the culprit. "I believe you have a responsibility. Help me restore the information on the manuscript." The man's face dropped in shock. "I don't know what you're talking about." Everyone else looked as if they were watching a good show. "You don't have to know what I'm talking about, but I remember the look on your face when you knocked over my cup." Jing Yun replied calmly. The man was stunned and blushed in embarrassment. Don't slander me. I never slander anyone, but I'm not one to hold back. Restore my information, or I won't be the only one to admire your face." The man promptly lowered his head at that, avoiding the question. "Got it." Everyone looked at Jing Yun's face. Was he a pushover? Such a straightforward counterattack. Chapter 360. As a matter of fact, Jing Yun had a habit of making backups, since he would always take photos of things like manuscripts. After working for Sheng Xiao for so long, would he be interested in such petty tricks? It was no different from scratching an itch, and not stirring any desire to win. Still, he did not tell that person that he had the information because he wanted that person to know the consequences of provoking him. Everyone in the office fell silent at that. That was clearly a tough nut to crack, and yet someone was so reckless as to run into it. Still, there was more to come. Once Jingyun's identity was revealed, everyone in the office would probably scram out of fear of retribution. Jingyun was still Jingyun. No matter how smart Su Yihong was, he would have to admit defeat against someone trained by Xing Xiao. Naturally, Jingyun had his men investigate the matter between Su Yihong and the eldest uncle of the Su family. He believed that his ability was not in the purchasing department anyway. That very night, Jingyun received a call. That was why he brought Xing Minglan to Jingting. Why are you coming to me now that you're the third young master of the Su family? Xing Xiao frowned in displeasure. Knowing that he was not really disgusted, Xing Minglan retorted, Am I not your fourth sister even if Jingyun isn't your assistant? What's new? I've sent people to investigate around the eldest uncle of the Su family and found out about an old incident. Jingyun told Xing Xiao. He still saw Xing Xiao as his young master, and the way they spoke was the same as before.
Speak.
Xing Xiao hugged Muqiqi and leaned lazily on the sofa. Big Uncle once had two lovers outside. One of them was discovered by Big Aunt, and she cried and made a scene. After that, she died. As for the other one, Big Uncle hid it very well. It is said that the two of them even gave birth to a son. What's the connection? The connection is that the child was born in the same hospital as eldest brothers, and the child was born before eldest brother by a few days. No one in the Su family knows about it. What about the child? Xing Xiao had already figured out the crux of the matter. He died when he was 2, and eldest uncle gave the woman a sum of money. They were even after that, and the woman left the country. How could you find out about such a thing? Xing Xiao pointed at Jingyun. It sounded like he was mocking him, but his actual words were, well done. It took some effort, Jingyun admitted. What else is there to say? Go and do a DNA test with your brother and your parents. In fact, Jingyun had already guessed that Su Yihong had a motive for what happened all those years ago. But even so, we didn't find any evidence that he abandoned me. Let's set up a trap. Xing Xiao narrowed his eyes and instructed Jingyun just like before. Your brother isn't letting you have it easy, is he? It's all right. Jingyun did not admit it in front of Xing Minglan. Of course, Xing Xiao did not continue. Since things are settled, shouldn't you leave? The little thing, and I still need to rest. Muqiqi blushed. Xiao, what are you talking about? Xing Minglan covered her mouth and chuckled. I didn't know you were so impatient. Well, we're going back. Jingyun held Xing Minglan's hand as they left Jingting. He was even more certain of his hunch after hearing Xing Zhao's answer. His father and his eldest uncle had fought over the management rights, and the eldest uncle had every reason to switch the child. Even if his father won and gave the rights to Su Yihong, the outcome would be the same. It would still be given to the eldest uncle. Moreover, no one knew that the mistress had a child at the time, and his real brother had died. That was the best cover for Su Yihong. I didn't expect the Su family to have so many traps. Xing Minglan sighed on the way back. Still, it's Su Yihong's bad luck to run into you and 8th brother. Anyone else would have fallen into Su Yihong's trap over and over again. Young master's intellect is peerless. Brains are useful, but not everyone can control them. Who else aside from Muqiqi could stand 8th brother? Every carrot has its own pit, and every pot lid has its head. A tortoise goes with. Xing Minglan did not really say the word tortoise, but she chuckled. Since we're going to do a DNA test, leave it to me. I'm not restricted at home, since you're all at work. Jingyun shook his head.
No.
Why? His room would definitely be guarded.
Jingyun said.
How could someone like Su Yihong not know that there were surveillance cameras in his office, if even he knew about it? I've always wondered why he didn't marry before, but I understand now. He would have a higher chance of being exposed if he had married early, and there would be no way to deal with his wife and children. That's why he might as well not marry and find a stable partner, and only marry and have children when he has real power. That would be perfect. What do you plan to do, then? There would be times when he would be careless if they lived together. That would depend on observation. All right then. Xing Minglan gave up on the idea of going to Su Yihong's room. After all, Su Yihong would definitely be prepared when Mama Su went to get the fake's DNA. Meanwhile, over at Jingting, Mu Qiqi was still nestled in Xing Zhao's arms after Jing Yun and Sheng Minglan left, sighing. I'm relieved that Jing Yun is no different from before. What do you think he would become? Snobbish, greedy, and greedy. Mu Qiqi pointed with her fingers as an example. You have many friends, but not many of them are brothers. I don't want you to lose a brother. You're thinking too much. Sheng Xiao couldn't help chuckling. Jing Yun would never change. He would never change. But that makes things even more interesting, don't you think? Sheng Xiao promptly picked Mu Qiqi up from the sofa at that. Was that the only thing that had become interesting? It had taken him quite a bit of effort to find out who the old man had met during his mysterious trips. The Gu family. After meeting the Gu family, what happened next? Was he already looking for a replacement for Qi? No wonder the old man had not given Qi a hard time recently. It turned out that he had other plans. Of course, if the old man really dared to do that, he could not be blamed after all. This was the world of the young. How could the old man's old ways work? When Jing Yun gets the evidence and exposes Su Yihong, I want to join in the fun. Chapter 361. Then, the Gu family came to ask when old Sheng would settle things between Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi and make room for the young lady of the Gu family. After all, she was the young lady of an aristocratic family. It was impossible for her to meddle in someone else's relationship when Sheng Xiao still had a fiancé. How could she explain that to Sheng Xiao? Old Sheng had been racking his brains lately, since Sheng Xiao was so smart that nothing could be hidden from him. And it was in that moment that sixth brother, who had been searching for his sister for a long time, actually found her. But now, Sheng Minghui no longer looked like the daughter of the Sheng family. Sixth brother was heartbroken when he saw her and stormed back to Sheng Mansion, telling Grandpa Sheng, "Grandpa, I've found seventh sister. But do you know where I found her?" Old Sheng's hands froze at the thought of seventh sister, and he looked up at him. "Hurry up and tell me." "Grandpa." Old Sheng's eyes welled with tears, and he promptly knelt before the old man. Seventh sister shouldn't be chased out of the family no matter how wrong she was. I found her in a nightclub. She's seriously ill and is now in the hospital. She's humiliated and defiled like this, and it's crushing my heart. The old man's eyes widened at that. What's wrong with her? It's better if you don't know. Sixth brother couldn't help crying. Either way, there's no way she could marry a man with a clean conscience. The old man did a double take and rose to his feet. "Take me to her." "There's no need, Grandpa. She doesn't even know you now." Sixth brother knelt in front of Grandpa Sheng and grabbed his pants. "Grandpa, I really can't take it lying down after seeing seventh sister like that. Mu Qiqi hurt seventh sister like that. Does she still want to marry into the Sheng family? Grandpa, please deal with Mu Qiqi. Do you think I have the final say in this matter?" "It's eighth brother." Old Sheng snorted. "If eighth brother wants to protect Mu Qiqi, who in the family could touch her?" "Grandpa, has Mu Qiqi not brought enough trouble to the Sheng family? Do you really have the heart to let her become the mistress of the Sheng family? Then us brothers will have a hard time. Grandfather, I really suggest that we break off the engagement with the Sheng family. If you don't believe me, have everyone in the Sheng family visit seventh sister and see if the Sheng family can tolerate her." At sixth brother's words, the old man suddenly had a new plan. Using Sheng Minghui's matter as a pretext, he might be able to sever their fiancé nominally. Moreover, the Shin family had no room to refute. As long as the two of them broke off the engagement, things would be much easier. "Tomorrow, ask your parents to visit Old Seven." Old Master Sheng sighed. Finally, after being troubled for so many days, he found a breakthrough. "Try to make the matter as big as possible." "I understand." Sixth brother wiped away his tears and rose to his feet. Whether eighth brother really likes Mu Qiqi or not, the Sheng family has no place for her. If eighth brother can't bear it, he should get out of the Sheng family.
No.
I just want Mu Qiqi to get out. Given how important eighth brother was to Huang Yao, he did not want to suffer a double loss. That was why he had to find an excuse to have Miss Gu join the Sheng family. That way, there would be a chance for Sheng Xiao and Miss Gu to develop a relationship. That was why the old man was prepared to make things difficult for Mu Qiqi. Late at night, at the Su family's home. As the reunion banquet was drawing near, the Su couple were checking the guest list in the living room, while Su Yihong was beside them to see if there were any guests they had missed. Soon, Jing Yun led Sheng Minglan into the main entrance of a Su family's home. Seeing that everyone else was present, he sat down with Sheng Minglan across from her father and brother. "Feng, you're back. How's work?" "Everything's fine, mother," Jing Yun said. After all, after he had punished the troublemaker colleague, the other pretentious scoundrels were much more discreet. At the very least, they would not dare to trouble him openly. "You don't know, mother, but the head of the purchasing department told me that third brother is astonishingly capable." Su Yihong smiled at Mama Su even as he sipped his coffee. "That's good." Mama Su was pleased and kept her head down to check the guest list. Even so, Jing Yun's gaze fell upon Su Yihong's coffee cup. "I think I'm going to transfer third brother to another department soon. Third brother, third sister-in-law, dad, mom. I'm going to rest." With that, Su Yihong took his coffee cup to the kitchen. But he did not wash it. He went straight upstairs after he left the kitchen. Jing Yun shot Sheng Minglan a look and said, "Minglan, could you get me a cup of water?" "Wait for me." Sheng Minglan understood Jing Yun's meaning and went into the kitchen to hide the coffee cup Su Yihong used just now, replacing it with a similar one. Then, she took some hot water and left the kitchen for Jing Yun. "Stay with mom and dad for a while. I'm going up." "All right." Sheng Minglan did not touch the cup because she had covered it with plastic wrap and carefully took it out when she returned to her room. Soon, Jing Yun followed her upstairs as well. His eyes darkened when he saw the cup. "But I haven't gotten your father's yet. Otherwise, I could have given it out later." "What do I need my father's for? Mine will do," Jing Yun told Sheng Minglan. "But I need an excuse to leave." "That's easy. Just say that eighth brother called for us." Jing Yun nodded and washed up as usual. But soon, he brought Sheng Minglan downstairs. "Where are you going?" "Auntie, eighth brother wants us to go to Jingting. We'll be right back," Sheng Minglan quickly explained to Mama Su. Mama Su nodded. "Don't be late." Upstairs, Su Yihong watched as the two left, but did not suspect that the coffee cup he used just now had been swapped. He was aware that Jing Yun was a schemer, but did not know that Jing Yun was trained by Xing Xiao, and he was not just smart on the surface. The two promptly sent the sample to the identification center, and the outcome would be clear once they verified that Jing Yun and Su Yihong were biological brothers. The reunion is in a few days, and the results would be out. "What do you plan to do then?" Sheng Minglan asked Jing Yun, although she was actually worried about him. "As long as he doesn't bother me during the reunion, I won't embarrass my parents. We'll talk about it in private," Jing Yun replied, looking at Sheng Minglan. "Moreover, I have to set up a trap to get evidence that he abandoned me." Chapter 362. When the Sheng family heard that sixth brother had found seventh sister and that she was in the hospital, they all took some time off to visit her. At first, Grandpa Sheng had arranged for the Sheng family to put on a show and stand up against Mu Qiqi. But when they saw what happened to seventh sister, they were filled with rage. The young lady of the Sheng family was now tormented to the point that she was neither human nor ghost. She was violated in a nightclub by a man and was now seriously ill.
There was no need for an act.
Third uncle and third aunt of the Sheng family were directly kneeling before Grandpa Sheng, begging him to stand up for their daughter. Usually, the couple did not have the right to care about their child. But this time, with sixth brother's hint, Grandpa Sheng would definitely stand up for Sheng Minghui. The woman on the sickbed was thin and weak. Moreover, she was not in her right mind. No one could imagine how much she had been through. And with that thought, everyone's hatred for Mu Qiqi deepened. "Father, seventh sister has become like this. You have to stand up for us." Grandpa Sheng clasped his hands behind his back, his heart pained as well. "This concerns the friendship between the Sheng and Shen families. I need to arrange it carefully. When seventh sister feels better, I'll talk to old Shin. Once this matter was told to the Shin family, it would be impossible to retrieve the spilt water, and there would be no turning back. Father, don't be fooled by Sheng Xiao this time. He certainly would not miss such a good opportunity. However, he only blamed it on Mu Qiqi. He did not remember who chased Xing Minghui out of the house. Was it Mu Qiqi? Since it had happened, all he had to do was deny it. No matter what happened, it would always be someone else's fault. That was how Grandpa Sheng always did things. Mama Sheng naturally told Xing Xiao about Sheng Minghui being found. Although, Mama Sheng did not expect that Grandpa Sheng would use this matter to get rid of Mu Qiqi. But Xing Xiao was different. Judging from Grandpa Sheng's recent actions, he knew that Sheng Minghui being found would be the best excuse for Grandpa Sheng to lay his cards on the table with the Shin family. After all, Sheng Minghui was seriously injured. Mother, there's going to be a lot of drama at home. What do you mean? Grandfather has taken a liking to the young lady of the Gu family to replace Qi. Now that seventh brother has been exposed, do you think he will miss such a good opportunity and not take advantage of it? Mama Sheng was shocked after listening to Sheng Zhao's analysis. No wonder. After visiting seventh sister today, your third uncle and third aunt talked excitedly with old master for the whole afternoon. Do you have a plan? Let the old man do what he wants. Xing Xiao said, if he wants to look for old Shen, let him. If he wants to make things clear, let him. Anyway, he doesn't care about what I think. Why should I guard against him? But you're just going to let the old man dissolve your relationship with Xiao Qi? Whether you admit it or not, in my heart, Qi, is already my wife. Xing Xiao said seriously. It's just that the price he has to pay for doing this is a little too high. You want to, if he doesn't do anything to Qi, I won't give up on Huang Yao. But he must have crossed the line. So I can only... I'm sorry. Xing Xiao had already made up his mind. Mother, what's your decision? Your father and I have been together for so many years. Although he is not a man most of the time and can't protect this family, I don't want to give up on him just like that. If you really announce that you are leaving Huang Yao, I will go abroad to look for him, Mama Xing said. Xing Xiao held the phone and said softly, I'm sorry, Mother. Don't say that. I know your temper. Even if Qi is not here, you will fight back when you are forced to this extent. Moreover, you have prepared a way out for me. It's just that I have other options. No matter what, just do the ideological work for the Shin family. You can let go of the Sheng family. Thank you, Mother. Xiao Qi is still in the dark. You have to make it clear to her. Don't let her misunderstand. Xing Xiao was very clear about that. Now that the matter was pressing, he naturally had to be prepared in advance. After the call, Xing Xiao hung up and told Mu Qiqi, who was writing the autopsy report at home. Pack up. We're going to the Shin family. What time? What happened? Mu Qiqi put down her laptop and stood up, looking at Xing Xiao, who was changing his clothes. You will know when the time comes. It was late at night, and it was winter. When Huang Yu saw that they had arrived at the Shin family's house, she put a blanket over them. It's so late. It's freezing. Your father and grandfather are already waiting in the study.
Go.
Thank you, second aunt. Mu Qiqi tightened her grip on the blanket and followed behind Xing Xiao. She seemed to have sensed something unusual in the atmosphere. Since they had called before, Shen Jianchuan and Grandpa Shen were waiting in the study. When they saw them, they asked, What's the matter? Why is it so urgent that we have to meet tonight? Mu Qiqi really wanted to know as well, but from the look in their eyes, it seemed that she had kept many things from them. Sheng Minghui was found, but she didn't end up well. The Sheng family blamed it on Qi, which is why Grandpa Shen wants to use it as a pretext. Xing Xiao explained to them, That's your family's business. Why are you coming to me? Grandpa Shen snorted. How could he be happy that Xing Xiao could not settle the Xing family after so long? If there are no accidents, Grandpa Shen will send you a visiting card tomorrow. Then, he will use Sheng Minghui's matter to call off my engagement with Qi. Well, Grandpa Shen was furious. Does he think the Shen family is so easy to bully? Grandpa, don't be angry. If Grandpa Shun wants to have a showdown with you tomorrow, you just have to fall out with him. If that's the case, your marriage with Xiao Qi is over. Grandpa Sheng said, pointing at Mu Qiqi. Sheng Xiao and Shun Jianchuan looked at each other and smiled. Meanwhile, Shun Jianchuan spoke up. Father, since when is your grandson-in-law someone who suffers losses? If the Sheng family refuses to accept Mu Qiqi, you should be magnanimous and accept him as your grandson-in-law. Grandpa Shun was shocked when he heard that. He looked at Sheng Xiao in disbelief. You are willing to marry into our family? I'm with Qi, anyway. Is there a difference if I marry her or she marries me? Sheng Xiao smiled. That's not all. Shun Jianchuan continued. You know that I've established Zhongting Military Industries, right? But you probably don't know who my partner is. Chapter 363. Are you really planning to leave Huangyao? Could it be that you don't like me as your grandson-in-law, grandfather? Sheng Xiao was smiling, looking supremely confident. I'm just afraid that the one in your family would come knocking on our door and make it impossible for me to live in peace. Although you've retired, the Shun family's reputation is still there. Moreover, second uncle's foundation is stabilizing, and the Sheng family wouldn't do anything to embarrass the Shun family openly. Sheng Xiao said very confidently. The old man was still fuming. No wonder you would bring Xiao Qi here in the middle of the night. If I didn't like you, brat, I wouldn't even bother with you. I'm doing this to show my attitude in advance, and I hope that you can cooperate with me and finish the show, grandfather. But you have to think this through. When your grandfather sees me tomorrow, he would officially call off your engagement. Sheng Xiao turned to look at Mu Qiqi, his gaze doting and firm. She's never been a fiancée in my heart. Mu Qiqi did a double take and heard him continue. She's my one and only wife. Brat. After they finished their discussion in the study, the two of them prepared to stay at the Shun residence for the night. After the two of them left Grandpa Shin's study room, Grandpa Shin said helplessly to Shun Jianchuan, After all, we have been friends for decades. I really don't understand why I, Xiao Qi, am not good enough for his eighth brother. Father, Sheng Xiao is sincere toward Qi, which means he's not willing to let you control her. Secondly, you're retired and Qi, is a girl. It's impossible to create a comfortable space and conditions for Sheng Xiao to develop in Huangyao. Moreover, Mu Qiqi wants to be a forensic doctor so much. Do you think old Sheng would let Mu Qiqi occupy the position of Sheng Zhao's woman? He could definitely find someone who could help Huangyao. He has a good plan. He can't blame me for abducting his grandson. That brat is capable and bold. You just have to fulfill their wish. Shun Jianchuan looked at his father and could only smile. Anyway, old Sheng could break off the engagement. It did not matter. When the time came, Sheng Xiao could directly announce his withdrawal from Huangyao. Let's see who would lose more. Let's talk about it tomorrow. The old man had been on the battlefield all his life. What had he not seen? Now, his granddaughter's engagement was broken off? Even if eighth brother did not vent his anger, he would not be able to swallow it. The Shun family was easy to bully. Moreover, they had been friends for so many years, and yet old Sheng was still playing tricks on him. Thinking about it, all these years had really been a waste. Shun Jianchuan kept smiling. Anyway, he was just watching the show. In Mu Qiqi's room in the Shin family, Mu Qiqi was straddling Sheng Xiao and tugging at his clothes. You are hiding a lot of things from me. Sheng Xiao was not annoyed. He just lay on the bed. It was quite comfortable anyway. Didn't I tell you now? If things hadn't come to this, you wouldn't have told me. Mu Qiqi snorted. When did you start a new company with Dad? Just recently, Sheng Xiao replied. Are you planning to leave the Sheng family for good? Yes. Sheng Xiao nodded and hooked his arm around Mu Qiqi's neck.
Why?
Am I not to your taste just because I am not the crown prince of Huangyao? You're going to marry into the Shin family. What else is there to say? Mu Qiqi shook his arm off and got off him. You're not allowed to touch me tonight. Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi in his arms and whispered into her ear, There is no condom in the first place. I am angry. Be serious. Muchichi snorted. You are not telling me anything. I am so sad. Little one, you are asking for a mile after being given an inch. Who am I doing this for? That was true. From the moment she saw old Xing interfering with fourth sister's affairs, she knew that she would break off her engagement with Xing Xiao sooner or later. She had also thought about how she should solve the matter. She really did not think that Xing Xiao would leave the Xing family completely and start his own family, even intending to marry into the Xin family. There was no telling how big a wave this matter would cause. Little one, there might be news about us breaking off our engagement tomorrow. Let it be. Muchichi replied nonchalantly. Then I would be the one who dumped you. You are asking for a beating. Xing Xiao held Muchichi down and slapped her butt. Muchichi did not resist. After all, this man was never willing to use his strength and only treated it as a massage. Tomorrow, it was fine if old Xing used Sheng Minghui's matter against the Xin family and Muchichi and asked to break off the engagement. After all, he would use the excuse that old Sheng had decided his life without his consent to get rid of the burden that was Huang Yao. Was he afraid? Never. In fact, he preferred the environment and the unity of the Shen family. Many people would not be able to sleep tonight, would they? Old Shen was worried if there would be any changes in this matter, and if eighth brother would know about it in advance. On the other hand, Mama Shen was worried that something terrible would happen after Xing Xiao made things clear. But the two involved did not seem to be affected at all, and were sleeping soundly. The next morning, sixth brother went to old Sheng's study. Grandpa, I thought about it all night last night. I think I should go to old Shen personally. That way, I can show my attitude and determination. Take old Master Shen to the hospital directly. Then, let him see your sister's most miserable side. Also, let your parents make a scene in front of him. Only then will you have a good reason to call off the engagement with the Shen family. I understand, sixth brother said. Then what about Xing Xiao? Don't mind him. When the news spreads, he will come home and settle the score with me. But what is done cannot be undone. He can't do anything about it. Old Sheng did not want Xing Xiao to agree in the first place. He knew that Xing Xiao would never agree. What if Xing Xiao reacts violently? He would be in a hurry to explain to Muchichi. Old Sheng waved his hand. When the two of them are together, it will not be justifiable and there will be more misunderstandings. Sooner or later, they will separate.
Don't worry about it.
All right, let's do it. Sixth brother simply threw caution to the wind. In for a penny, in for a pound. After all, he could not wait to cut Muchichi into pieces every time he saw seventh sister's face. Now, not letting her into the Sheng family was already the lightest punishment he could get. But how could the Sheng family know that Xing Xiao had already planned to retreat? You don't know gratitude after stabilizing Huang Yao, do you? Plotting against me. Chapter 364. Sixth brother promptly drove to the Shen's residence after receiving his orders. Meanwhile, Xing Xiao had already left the Shen's residence with Muchichi. Sixth brother would have a direct confrontation if he saw them. Although old Shen was prepared, he was still very upset when the Sheng family really came. Was old Xing actually thinking of returning the granddaughter of the Xin family? It was good that he had brought Xing Xiao here. Old Sheng would also see how Xing Xiao would use the Xin family's current resources to rise to the top. How dare he belittle the Xin family and look down on them? Their decades of friendship really could not withstand the test. Still, old Xin would not feel guilty for abducting the crown prince of the Sheng family. After all, who was Xing Xiao? His legs were grown on his body, so who could stop him? Sixth brother was completely unaware that it was a trap. He entered the Xin family through Huang Yu and met old Xin at the fish pond without a hitch. Even before he spoke to old Xin, he thought to himself that the old man's power was truly gone. Now he could only stay at home and play with his birds, and his days were so boring. It was precisely because of this thought that they missed a very important thing, which was the mayoral election. Old Xin turned and smirked when he saw sixth brother. Still, he put down his fishing rod and walked up to sixth brother. What's with the wind today? Even the sixth brother of the Sheng family is here. Old Shin, I'm here to invite you to a place. Sixth brother's face showed proper respect. Did your grandfather ask you to invite me? Yes. Sixth brother nodded. Old Shin washed his hands by the sink and walked ahead of sixth brother. Wait for me at the front hall. I want to change. Soon, they left together. Still, when he saw that it was not the way to the Sheng family's house, the old man couldn't help asking, "Where are we going?" Don't worry, Old Shin. You'll know when we get there. Sixth brother kept him in suspense. Soon, they arrived at the hospital. Although Grandpa Shun was still puzzled, he got an answer when he entered Sheng Minghui's ward. Isn't this Sheng Minghui? Exactly. Old Sixth nodded. Seventh sister is seriously ill now. She's not in her right mind. Please forgive her for not recognizing Old Shin. And the person who did this to seventh sister is your good granddaughter, Mu Chi-Chi. Old Shun's face fell at that. He was about to say something when third uncle and third aunt of the Shing family pushed open the door and entered, grabbing Old Shin's arm. Old Shun, my daughter wouldn't have ended up like this if it wasn't for Mu Chi-Chi. She's the one who harmed her. Old Shun, you must give us an explanation. Old Shun, I only have one daughter in my family. However, she was tricked by a man by Mu Chi-Chi. Now, she is seriously ill and delirious. She can only spend the rest of her life in the hospital. Old Shun, please help us. With snot and tears running down their faces, the couple fought to accuse Mu Chi-Chi to the old man. No, you should at least tell us what happened, shouldn't you? Back then, seventh sister and your granddaughter, Shen Ruai, were bewitched and wanted to harm Minglan. It was Mu Chi-Chi's idea that made Old Shen hate seventh sister and chase her out of the family. I know seventh sister is at fault, but what could a young lady like her go after she was chased out of the family? Our elder regretted it the very next day, but it was already too late. We couldn't find OL7 anywhere in the world until 2 days ago, when her brother found her in a nightclub. Third uncle of the Sheng family covered his face and sobbed. If Mu Chi-Chi didn't come up with such an idea, things might not have turned out this way. Old Shin knew what happened this time, but it was Old Sheng who gave the order. What did it have to do with Mu Chi-Chi? Moreover, seventh sister and Shen Ruoi only had themselves to blame. What was there to sympathize with? He did not even mention that Shen Ruoi was exiled to the Cold Army to suffer. Old Shin, both of them held onto Old Shin and cried bitterly. Soon, Old Shin pushed open the door and entered. The two old men looked at each other, and Old Shin sighed helplessly. Old Shin, let's talk outside. Finally, they were getting down to business. These three were really bad at acting. It was not that he did not sympathize with seventh sister, but he would not simply admit that it had nothing to do with Mu Chi-Chi. The two old men were walking in the garden of the hospital. Grandpa Shen was not as agile as Grandpa Shen, so he stopped and said to Grandpa Shen, seventh sister's matter has caused quite a stir in the Sheng family. The family has a lot of opinions about Mu Chi-Chi, and third brother's family is even threatening to kill themselves. Grandpa Shen, I'm really troubled. Grandpa Shen looked at his old friend in front of him and suddenly felt that he was a stranger. Since when did Old Sheng start beating around the bush so much? Old Sheng, just say it if you have something to say. Perhaps our eighth brother and Mu Chi-Chi are not fated. As a grandfather, I can't absolve myself from the blame when our family is in such a mess. That is why I've come to you shamelessly today. What I want to say is that we should forget about the marriage between our families. Mu Chi-Chi is smart and obedient. She would definitely find a better home. But there's no telling when seventh sister would leave. She's so sick that she can't face Mu Chi-Chi even if I look after her. Grandpa Shen fell silent after hearing this. After a while, he asked, feeling rather humiliated, who is more responsible for the matter between seventh sister and Shen Ruoi? You're the one who chased your granddaughter out of the family. Now that something has happened, you're blaming my granddaughter? It's my fault. I shouldn't have listened to Mu Chi-Chi. Was that an apology? Old Master Shen had finally seen it for himself. I know that you've never acknowledged Mu Chi-Chi from the start. You only agreed to the engagement because she's still young and you could turn the tables on her at any time. Old Shen, what are you talking about? Old Sheng began to quibble. Our families have been friends for decades. Why do you think that the Shen family no longer has power, Old Sheng? Second brother has been elected mayor of Jianchuan just a few days ago. You don't know about that, do you? Old Sheng appeared rather shocked, because the matter had not been made public yet. Still, since you've said it and made it clear, the Shen family wouldn't ask for trouble. Our granddaughter hasn't reached the point where she would throw herself at someone else. Since you've already decided that it's Mu Qiqi's fault, let it be. It's our granddaughter who has wronged you. I'll call off the marriage for Mu Qiqi. Chapter 365. Businessmen are so short-sighted. There's a saying since ancient times that the common people should not fight against the rich, and the rich should not fight against the officials. So, when it comes to the Sheng family, are you saying that the Shen family is paying for it? I won't do such a thing. Since you've spoken, Old Sheng, the marriage between Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi is over. The Shen family will tell the world that we're breaking off our engagement with the Sheng family, and I'll send someone to Seven Sisters' house to express our sincerity. Old Shen, since you have the intention of shedding all pretense of cordiality with me today, then I shall accept this favor. Old Master Shen raised his eyebrows. He did not hold back when he spoke to Old Master Sheng. Let's forget about our past relationships today. Old Sheng panicked inwardly when he saw Old Shen's decisiveness. After all, he really didn't know that Mu Qiqi's second uncle was now the mayor of Jianchuan and that his attention was on the Gu family. Unexpectedly, the Shen family was still the same as before. Moreover, with Shen Lin joining the army and Shen Jianchuan slowly recovering, the Shen family would still enjoy limitless glory in time. Old Shen, you're being too serious. We still hope that Mu Qiqi could visit the Sheng family. No need. You Sheng family might be shameless, but we are. With that, Old Shen flicked his sleeves and left. That left Old Sheng rather annoyed. It was clearly his idea to build connections with the Gu family, and he had always been disdainful of Mu Qiqi's birth. But how could he have known that Mu Qiqi's background would one day rise with the tide? But there was no turning back now that the arrow had been fired. Since this matter had become a foregone conclusion, the friendship with the Shen family could only end here. The only good thing was that he could openly let Miss Gu join the Sheng family. But little did he know that his loss had just begun. Still, the truth was that Old Sheng didn't feel the joy of being rid of a burden. Instead, there was an emptiness in the depths of his heart. After all, he was now an enemy of the Shen family. Even so, he couldn't come up with any countermeasure if the Shen family tried to suppress the Sheng family in secret. Otherwise, did he really think that no one could shake Jianchuan for so many years just because he was a big conglomerate? How could those who wanted to make an example out of the Sheng family not be wary of the Shen family behind the Sheng family? After a while, Old Sheng returned to the ward. Sixth brother quickly went up to him and asked, "Grandpa, is it done?" "It's a success, but don't worry about buts. Mu Qiqi will never appear in the Sheng family again." "Isn't that a good thing? When are you going to announce the news?" "The Shen family will handle this. You don't have to worry," Old Sheng told sixth brother. Although Sheng Xiao had told Old Shen about it, Old Shen was still furious when he heard how Old Sheng despised Xiao Qi. If it weren't for that brat's foresight and ability to judge the situation, he really wouldn't want to get married to the Sheng family. How young was Xiao Qi? Sheng Xiao was almost 30, and now that he thought about it, he was at a disadvantage. Of course, Sheng Xiao knew very well how strong Grandpa Shen's character was. He would not be in a good mood after this incident. That was why he planned to stay with Mu Qiqi at the Shen family's house for the next 2 days. Moreover, he would return home at once and accompany Old Shen to fish at the fish pond after he was done with his business in Huangyao. I'm making a call to have someone handle your marriage with Xiao Qi." "I'll handle it myself," Sheng Xiao quickly said. "You don't have to worry about it, Grandpa. The Sheng family will get it back soon anyway." "Who's your grandpa?" Now that second uncle has become the mayor, those who underestimated the Shen family would once again see the Shen family's ability. "Only fools would offend you now, wouldn't they?" "Cunning," Grandpa Shen commented.
I am happy for you, Grandpa.
Although the Shin family's power is rising again, but the number of people is still too small. Second uncle and second aunt are old, so they still need to rely on us, the younger generation, to spread the branches and leaves, right? Let she go out and look for someone else. How could I treat her better than a ready-made grandson-in-law like me? You think too highly of yourself. Why aren't you handling the matter between you and she? Old Shin was too lazy to be bothered. Of course, he had seen many things clearly now that the Shin family was rising again. That was why keeping a low profile before was the right thing to do. Sheng Xiao smiled and called a reporter he was familiar with.
I've got some news for you. Do you want it?
What's the big news? The Crown Prince of Huangyao has broken off his engagement with Mu Qiqi, the granddaughter of the Shin family. It's because the elders of the Sheng family don't like Mu Qiqi's status. Is the news reliable? If you don't report it, the Sheng family would beat you to it. Sheng Xiao said playfully. The reporter promptly asked to hang up at that. I'm going to write my draft. After all, the feud between rich families was always good material for gossip. Of course, with Sheng Xiao letting the news out like that, it was all the Sheng family's fault. Looking down on Mu Qiqi's background? In any case, she was the legitimate daughter of the Shen family, the mayor's niece. How could the Sheng family look down on that? Were they going to marry the empress? Therefore, before the Sheng family could inform the rest of Huangyao, the news had already spread. Lu Qianqian, Su Zipei, and Jingyun all called Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi was still busy with the autopsy and could only reply them one by one. The news is real, but my relationship with Xiao Xiao isn't affected. There's more exciting things to come, so you don't have to worry. The Sheng family is abandoning the little bride just like that? To tell the truth, Mu Qiqi is only 19, while the Crown Prince is 27. Isn't it obvious who's the winner? The Crown Prince likes Mu Qiqi so much, but the elders still control his marriage. The Sheng family really doesn't know what's good for them. Let me tell you a secret. The Shin family has just won the election and is flourishing, but the Sheng family is actually looking down on them. Whatever the case, the two have broken off their engagement in name. There are plenty of young geniuses and young ladies.
They have a chance now.
What a pity. I really want to see how the people react. How the people react? What kind of reaction? The news that they revealed themselves. The Sheng family would be cursed by the world this time. Of course, none of that worried old Sheng. He was more worried that Sheng Xiao would go berserk. Just worried? No way. Now that Sheng Xiao had calmed the Shin family down, wasn't it obvious what he was going to do next? Did the old man think that he would go to the Sheng family and cause a scene? He was too lazy to do that tonight. I'll let the old master worry for a night. Tomorrow. Chapter 366. In the evening, Mu Qiqi returned to the Shun's residence. She could not help rolling her eyes when she saw Sheng Xiao. My phone is exploding from all the calls.
You did it.
Sheng Xiao pulled her into his arms and whispered into her ear, Isn't it good to stand up for the Sheng family? How would I know there would be such a huge reaction? You don't know how many sympathetic gazes I get wherever I go. Sheng Xiao could not help chuckling at that. My Qi is fine. Why would she need sympathy? Humph. Others don't know.
All right.
You stink. Go take a shower and have dinner. I've brought the perfume for you. Mu Qiqi nodded and went to the bathroom to wash up. Still, the stench of corpses on her spread from the main entrance to every corner of the Shun's residence. Even old Shin could not help asking what that smell was. Sheng Xiao only explained then. She's just observing corpses. Old Shin nodded and looked at Sheng Xiao. That's too smelly. It's like this every day. I'm used to it. Really? Why must she be a forensic doctor? The old man did not dislike the profession, but the fact that it was a job that women could not bear. She's an assistant in the criminal investigation team now.
She's not just observing.
Sheng Xiao smiled in agreement. That was something the old man was quite satisfied with. The kid had really accepted everything about Xiao Qi, be it good or bad. Even if it was the stench of corpses, he would enjoy it every day. When do you plan to announce your departure from Huangyao? Tomorrow. He did not do it tonight to keep the Sheng family uneasy. And old Sheng would definitely know that he was at the Shun's residence tonight, thinking that he was trying to make Mu Chi-Chi happy. Let's eat. The old man did not say anything else. He did not need to show up anyway. Meanwhile, in the dining room of the Sheng's residence, the Sheng family was puzzled that Sheng Xiao did not come back to trouble the old man. Although old Sheng guessed that Sheng Xiao would definitely try to coax Mu Chi-Chi and explain, it was not his style to not show up until now. Let's not wait. Let's eat. Everyone started to move their bowls and chopsticks. At that moment, Mama Sheng said to Grandpa Sheng, "Dad, I've booked a plane ticket to leave Jianchuan tomorrow. Are you going to find boss? It's all thanks to you that I feel that staying in the Sheng family is like hell. You made 8th brother and Mu Chi-Chi break off their engagement and worked with 6th brother's family to put on a show and force old Shin to agree. You didn't tell me about it at all. I think you don't need me as your daughter-in-law. So, I want to leave." Eldest aunt, 6th brother called out apprehensively. "Until now, I only have one thing to say. Sheng Minghui deserved what she got. And the one who caused all this was not Mu Chi-Chi, but the old man in front of you." After that, Mama Sheng got up from the dining table. "Take your time. I won't be accompanying you." Old Sheng did not stop Mama Sheng because he believed that Mama Sheng could not make a decision on Sheng Zhao's matter. Moreover, Miss Gu would be joining the Sheng family soon. With that being the case, it was better to fulfill her wish so that she would not mess things up. "Grandpa, 8th brother isn't back at this hour. Could he have done something unthinkable?" It turned out that 6th brother was still afraid. "Can he ascend to the heavens or dive into the earth? He would know to look for me when he comes back. Just do whatever you need to do." Old Sheng wiped his hands with a napkin and quietly ate his dinner. Soon, Mama Sheng left the Sheng family's house with her luggage. She had no attachment to the Sheng family at all. She would rather sleep in a hotel tonight than stay with those ingrates. 2nd brother could not stand it anymore and only went up to her to carry her luggage. "I'll see you off, eldest aunt." Since 2nd brother was Sheng Zhao's chosen successor, she did not reject him. "Huang Yao depends on you from now on." 2nd brother smiled, not understanding Mama Sheng's words. There's still 8th brother. Still, he had given his heart and soul for the Sheng family, but was treated like this. He must be feeling terrible. Terrible. Mama Sheng snorted. There was no telling who would be the one feeling terrible tomorrow. Mama Sheng gave Sheng Xiao a call when they reached the hotel, and Sheng Xiao brought Mu Chi-Chi to the hotel and personally sent her to the airport the next morning. "Be careful when I'm not by your side from now on. Mom, you have to visit us often," Mu Chi-Chi said, hugging Mama Sheng. "Take care of Mu Chi-Chi, 8th brother. Don't let her suffer. The Sheng family is so heartless." Sheng Xiao smiled and pointed at the security checkpoint. "It's almost time.
Go."
It's not like we won't meet again. Remember not to bully Mu Chi-Chi." "I'll remember." Mu Chi-Chi was really touched. Although she had never experienced motherly love from Su Ziqing, Mama Sheng treated her like her own daughter and would spare no effort for her and Sheng Xiao. Soon, Mama Sheng's figure disappeared through the security checkpoint. That was when Mu Chi-Chi sighed. "I have one less family." Sheng Xiao put his arm around Mu Chi-Chi's shoulder and let her out of the airport. "It's Mom's choice. I know. I just feel bad. All right, I'll send you to the forensics lab. I still have things to do." Sheng Xiao quickly changed the subject with his little one, or she would keep thinking about him. "Are you going to fight the Sheng family?" "Fight? Not really. I'm just spreading some news." With that, Sheng Xiao started his sports car and sent Mu Chi-Chi to the forensics lab. Meanwhile, the Sheng family was even more anxious. Logically speaking, they would only feel normal after Sheng Xiao caused a ruckus. Otherwise, it would be the calm before the storm as long as Sheng Xiao did not show up. Hoping for Sheng Xiao to show up. What a shame. Sheng Xiao would never show up. Soon, old Sheng received a call from the director of Huang Yao. "What's going on? Sheng Xiao hasn't come to work yet." Meanwhile, Sheng Zhao's resignation letter was handed to 2nd brother, who was stunned when he read it. Meanwhile, the secretary was asking second brother about the meeting that Xing Xiao was supposed to be hosting. Should we keep waiting for the crown prince? Second brother had a complicated look on his face and only said one thing. No need. He won't show up again. At the same time, a reporter from a financial magazine received the news. Xing Xiao, the crown prince of Huangyao, has publicly announced that he is resigning as the CEO of Huangyao and leaving the company forever. From now on, he would never meddle in Huangyao's affairs. This is the second time the crown prince has resigned from Huangyao this year. Chapter 367. Even so, the old man was dismissive when he heard the news. Eighth brother was playing that trick again. He had threatened him with ignoring Huangyao the last time. Was he going to play the same trick again? Unfortunately, the old man would not fall for it. That was why old Sheng was not concerned at all when news of Xing Zhao's departure from Huangyao spread like wildfire. That was until second brother returned home with Xing Zhao's resignation letter and share transfer letter. As the deputy CEO of Huangyao, do you need me to teach you how to hold your ground in the company when eighth brother is being willful? Sixth brother even sneered. Second brother, you haven't seen eighth brother's tricks, but I've seen it once. He's doing this just to make grandpa compromise. In a few days, he'll come back when he's achieved his goal. Second brother, however, was not as optimistic as they were. He directly handed over Xing Zhao's resignation letter and the transfer of his shares. The old man took a look at it and immediately took 2 steps back. This was all handed over by eighth brother? Eighth brother wouldn't show his face at all and only had his assistant deliver these things. Grandfather, no matter how willful he was in the past, it's clear that he's not joking this time. The old man's expression changed completely. Sixth brother snatched it for a look and was shocked. Eighth brother is serious? Grandfather, did you not think that eighth brother would really be angry after you caused such a ruckus and broke off the engagement with the Shin family on your own? Who in the family doesn't know how scary his anger is? Have you ever thought that eighth brother would really abandon Huangyao? The old man really did not think that way, because Huangyao had given Xing Xiao unparalleled glory and status. That was why he did not believe that Xing Xiao would give up on the family's power and wealth. No, he did not believe that eighth brother would give it all up even now. Where is eighth brother now? Old Xing asked. We broke off our engagement with the Shin family yesterday, and eighth brother had someone deliver these things today. With Xiao Qin's departure yesterday, it's easy to imagine that the bastard had planned for this day to come. Eighth brother is probably at the Shin family's residence now. Second brother answered. I'll go look for him now. Right now, the Shin family is not a place that just anyone can enter. Second brother reminded old Sheng. Grandfather, you should know that second uncle of the Shin family has been elected mayor of Jianchuan, right? The old man took a deep breath and tried to suppress the anger in his heart. Then find eighth brother for me. Since he doesn't even want to go to Huangyao now, he naturally doesn't want to see you. The more important thing now is to stabilize Huangyao. Grandfather, I'm afraid you'll have to do it yourself this time. Didn't eighth brother just get rid of Mu Qiqi? Is there a need for such a big reaction? Second brother glared at sixth brother at that. You really should be grateful to eighth brother for having such a good life now. When he's gone, you'll know how your life would change dramatically. That's right, sixth brother. You should be grateful to eighth brother. Sixth brother was unconcerned. After all, would Huangyao crumble just because Xing Xiao was gone after so many years of standing? Naturally, second brother could not be bothered to waste words with him and promptly followed the old man, heading to Huangyao to appease the shareholders. At first, old Sheng had wanted to hide the fact that Xing Xiao had handed in his resignation letter and transferred his shares. However, Xing Xiao had already revealed the details to the reporters, which was why the old man could not hide the fact that Xing Xiao was leaving Huangyao at all. Huangyao was in a state of turmoil all at once, just as rumors spread everywhere. At the end of the day, it was all because the old man had taken the liberty to call off the engagement with the Shin family, which was why Xing Xiao had such a drastic reaction. No, it might have seemed urgent and fierce to outsiders, but he had been planning it for some time. Otherwise, he would not have been able to provide whatever the old man needed. It looks like the crown prince is really going to leave the Sheng family. He can't even protect his own woman. Perhaps Xing Xiao thinks that being the crown prince is useless and simply doesn't want it anymore. I don't have to say it, but is the head of the Sheng family blind? It's already very unwise to call off the engagement with the Shen family at this juncture. Why would he underestimate the crown prince's influence on Huang Yao? The outside world was very clear about the matter. Sheng Zhao's actions were clearly provoking the old man. Huang Yao's board of directors called for an emergency meeting, but old Sheng could only keep the shareholders at bay for now, even promising to bring Sheng Xiao back. After that, he wanted to meet Xing Xiao, but found that the security was much tighter when he arrived at the Shen family's residence. Remembering how he had humiliated old Shen yesterday, old Sheng did not want to show up now. Even so, he had to meet Xing Xiao. In the past, old Sheng did not have to go through strict checks when he entered the Shen family, but he was stopped by the guards now. When the guards saw that it was him in the car, he promptly told the old man, "I'm sorry, old Mr. Sheng. Mayor Shen has decreed that he will not meet any Sheng family member who comes to the Shen's residence. I hope you can understand our hardships and turn back."
Me too?
"You're first in line. It's fine if you don't want to meet me. Hand over my grandson." "I'm sorry, old Mr. Sheng." Young master is free to come and go in the Shen's residence, and no one is giving him a hard time. His legs are his, and there's nothing we can do if he doesn't want to come out. Old Sheng angrily closed the car window and was forced to return home. He really did not expect Xing Xiao to be so decisive.
Find out where Muqiqi is right now.
I want to meet her, and Xing Xiao wouldn't lock her up, would he? Muqiqi was at the forensics lab, but Su Che was with her at the moment. Old Sheng arrived at the entrance of the forensics lab, and when Muqiqi finally came out, he ordered his men to capture her. But Su Che knocked out one of his front teeth with a single punch. Su Che blocked Muqiqi's way, and before Muqiqi could see who was in the car, he had Muqiqi get in and drive off right in front of old Sheng. That was how useful Su Che was. Trained in the special forces, it was not a problem for him to fight 5 people alone. Hence, the old man had no choice but to return to the Sheng family's residence. That was when everyone in the Sheng family came to ask if the old man had seen Xing Xiao. Second brother watched the old man's expression closely and quickly knew the answer. Perhaps. Chapter 368. Second brother, you should take over Huang Yao since 8th brother has made you deputy chief. Grandpa, let me try. Who knows, 8th brother might want to see me. Second brother suggested. I might not be able to bring 8th brother back, but I would know what he wants and if there's still room for redemption. It's the same even if you go. It's the Su family's banquet tomorrow, and 8th brother would definitely be there.
We'll talk about it then.
The old man said tiredly. Second brother was very worried. He followed behind the old man. Grandpa, I'm only doing this to find a better wife for him. What's wrong with that? Second brother couldn't comment on the old man's actions, but he fully understood why Xing Xiao would retaliate like that. Huang Yao was in a mess right now, and the gossip magazines were not letting the Sheng family off the hook either, and kept digging for the latest news. Old Shen finally vented his frustrations at the sight of the Sheng family. Despising the granddaughter of the Shen family? During dinner, old Shen sneaked a few glances at Xing Xiao before saying, "Your grandfather came to look for you. I expected that, and I know you didn't let him in, Grandpa." "How so? Aren't the guards in the Shen family a lot stricter?" Xing Xiao answered Grandpa Shen naturally. "Have you vented your anger?" Grandpa Shen asked. "Humph." Old Shen snorted. She, and I are returning to Jingting tonight. We'll be there for Jingyan's banquet tomorrow, and the old man would know and look for me at the Su family's banquet. Don't forget your promise. What else can I do now that I've handed everything I own to you? Xing Xiao smiled. I'm not going back since I've decided to leave Huang Yao. Still, now's not the time to announce our new company. When the time is right, I'll let the Sheng family know that I can't go back. Aren't you afraid that your grandfather would be heartbroken? He has a better choice. Xing Xiao said simply. Of course, He knew very well that old Sheng would not let him go so easily, but this time, he would never step through the gates of the Sheng family no matter what. Now that Grandpa Shen had vented his anger, he felt much better. Do as you youngsters please. With that, Sheng Xiao left the Shen's residence with Mu Qiqi. Old Sheng would never have expected that Sheng Xiao would return to Jingting. Mama Sheng had arranged this house for him and paid for it in full. That was why Sheng Xiao could continue living here. Today, I was almost kidnapped by your grandfather at the entrance of the Criminal Investigation Unit. Sheng Xiao carried Mu Qiqi and led her upstairs to the bedroom. That's why I let Su Che follow you. Where did Su Che come from? From what I can see, his opponent's teeth are all gone. A veteran of the Special Forces. Sheng Xiao looked at her little face and answered. Mu Qiqi nodded. No wonder. This man had really arranged everything. Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi back to the bedroom and placed her in the bathtub. He filled the bathtub with hot water for her before they lay down together. Mu Qiqi saw him closing his eyes lazily, so she took the initiative to kiss him. How do you plan to deal with the reunion party tomorrow? Your grandfather will definitely go. I'll deal with it as it comes. Sheng Xiao replied with a half-smile. Instead of worrying about what will happen to me tomorrow, you should worry about what will happen to you right now. Sheng Xiao pinched Mu Qiqi's chin, and a ferocious kiss followed. Mu Qiqi did not even have time to react before she was pinned beneath him. I haven't tried it in the water yet. Do you want it? Mu Qiqi gasped. She had no control at all. Even now, he was asking her if she wanted it. The man was deliberately messing with her. Would you stop if I say I don't want it? Sheng Xiao smiled seductively in that very instant and whispered into Mu Qiqi's ear. I'll answer you. I'll just rub and not go in. Sheng Xiao was having a good time here, but the Sheng family was in a mess right now. Soon, the shareholders would not be able to hold their ground, much less the partners of Huang Yao. Second brother's ability was certainly incomparable to sixth brother's, but his foundation was not yet stable, and he could not win the trust of the shareholders and partners. How could I have such an animal? Huang Yao is such a huge business, and he just threw it away like that. What else does he want? The CEO of Huang Yao has more shares than anyone else, and yet he's not satisfied? Grandfather, you know very well what he wants. Second brother told the old man. That's impossible. It was not easy for him to get rid of Mu Qiqi, and he would not slap himself in the face and get Mu Qiqi back. Second brother, you have to work hard for a while to stabilize Huang Yao. You don't have to worry about what eighth brother did before, and just go for it. I'll do my best, grandfather. Even so, there was only one Sheng Xiao in this world, and only those who had seen him with their own eyes would know how miraculous he was. Even if second brother was outstanding, he was merely a manager who was slightly better than the average person among the masses compared to a genius like Sheng Xiao. Eighth brother, are you so sure that I would admit defeat? After all, the old man believed that Sheng Xiao was only trying to fight back from the jaws of death. He had played the same trick last time, and naturally could not scare the old man, which was why he was increasing his stakes this time. This time, we'll see who can keep their composure. The old man was waiting for Sheng Xiao to understand that he would not compromise this time. Even so, he did not know that all he got was Sheng Xiao announcing the establishment of a new company. Of course, he would bring second brother to the Su family's banquet tomorrow. At the very least, he would have a good talk with that animal before the confrontation. Over the years, Sheng Xiao had been demanding nothing from the Sheng family. Regardless of how the Sheng family viewed him, he had managed Huang Yao well. Even so, the old man could not tolerate Mu Qiqi. The entire Sheng family was under the protection of his ability, but none of them were grateful. How many people actually worked in Huang Yao with such a huge group and such a huge family business? That was the part where second brother understood Sheng Xiao best. All they saw was Sheng Xiao basking in the glory of the crown prince and being respected and feared by all of Jianchuan. However, they did not know how much effort Sheng Xiao had put in behind the scenes and how much responsibility he had shouldered for the Sheng family. Second brother knew very well that whether the old man could meet Sheng Xiao tomorrow, Chapter 369. Still, there was no telling when the old man would wake up from his sweet dreams. On the next day, the Su family's reunion banquet was held in their manor. Meanwhile, Jingyun had received the results of the DNA test between him and Su Yihong the previous afternoon. Since he did not have Papa Su's DNA sample and they were cousins, he had done a paternity test instead of a paternity test. Just as Sheng Xiao expected, Su Yihong was definitely not the Su couple's son, nor was he Jingyun's biological brother. Jingyun's heart was much more at ease now that he had obtained such evidence. Many mysteries had been solved because of it. Still, it would take some time for Su Yihong to personally admit that he had abandoned him at Jianchuan. Today, the Su family had a full house of guests. Many who knew the Su family well knew that their third son had gone missing many years ago, and since it was a reunion banquet, it meant that their son had been found. Still, there was no telling what kind of person the third son of the Su family was. The Su couple had come out to greet the guests early on, while Jingyun waited for Sheng Minglan to dress up before leaving the room. The guests were all curious when they saw Jingyun. Wasn't that the crown prince's assistant? Normal people might not have noticed who Xing Zhao's former assistant was, but there were few among the nobles who did not know. This is my phone, our long-lost child. Mama Su introduced him to the guests. The guests thought about it and realized that Jingyun was definitely an orphan. We've really worn out iron shoes in search of him. That child is doing well in the Sheng family, but I didn't expect him to be the third son of the Su family. Isn't that so? He really looks like a talent. The guests all began to praise him, while Su Yihong was greeting the guests as well. Although he really did not want Jingyun to appear before them and be acknowledged, his parents were not easy to fool. Moreover, Jingyun was careful enough, which was why the trick Su Yihong came up with had not worked on him yet. I really didn't expect that the former assistant of the Sheng family would be the third son of the Su family. There's no telling what the Sheng family has fallen into this time. First, they lost Mu Qiqi, the mayor's niece, and now they've lost Jingyun, the third young master of the Su family. Oh my, they're really hurting. Even as the guest spoke, old Sheng had already led second brother into the Su family's manor. Although Su Minglan's parents were reluctant, he was still Sheng Minglan's grandfather, and Jingyun was indebted to him. Old Sheng, you're here. Please take a seat. Papa Su quickly greeted him. Congratulations on finding your son. It's all thanks to Elder Sheng that we can see our son again. Knowing that Xing Xiao had left Huangyao, Sheng Minglan did not hate the old man that much. Hence, she greeted him, Grandpa. Minglan, let's go to the side and talk. Sheng Minglan knew that the old man was probably going to ask her about Xing Xiao, but she really did not know anything about Xing Xiao, leaving the Sheng family. Even so, the grandfather and grandson still walked to a deserted corner. You know what happened to eighth brother, right? I learned about it from the news. Sheng Minglan answered honestly. Huangyao is a pile of loose sand right now. If you could you return to Huangyao and help Grandpa? Old Sheng asked Sheng Minglan. You should know how much damage Huangyao would suffer from eighth brother's departure. If you were a Sheng, wouldn't you help Grandpa in times of need? Grandpa doesn't object to you and Jingyun now. Is that all right? I need to think about it. Think about it. Did Sheng Minglan think that the old man was asking her to return because he needed her as his granddaughter? That was not it. The old man was asking her to return because he needed the Su family's backing. Now that Huangyao was in a precarious situation, he would have an excuse to keep the shareholders in line with his in-laws. Of course, Sheng Minglan did not think as deeply as he did. Even so, he could not hide his thoughts from Jingyun and Xing Xiao. Jingyun promptly told Sheng Minglan, I won't stop you if you want to return. As long as you're happy, it's fine. But you should know that Grandpa's real purpose is to use the Su family's backing to stabilize Huangyao. Sheng Minglan felt a chill down her spine at those words. Why was it that she, as a grandfather, was always scheming against her family? Soon, Sheng Xiao led Mu Qiqi into the banquet hall. The crown prince of Huangyao. All the guests' eyes were on the man and Mu Qiqi. No, he was no longer the crown prince of Huangyao. Even so, his regal demeanor was still wholeheartedly convincing. It was the first time the Su couple had seen him in all his glory, and they soon had to admit that he was a legend. Chief Su, Madam Su. Sheng Xiao greeted them politely. Oh, young Master Sheng is truly extraordinary, it's Feng's fortune that you could groom him. Mama Su quickly praised him. That's right. You flatter me, Madam Su. Sheng Zhao's eyes found old Sheng beside them, but he ignored him. The guests were curious as well. What was going to happen between Sheng Xiao and the old man? Young Master Sheng, please forgive us for our lack of hospitality since there are too many guests today. Please help yourself. Sheng Xiao nodded and was about to greet Jing Yun with Mu Qiqi, but old Sheng walked up to Sheng Xiao and said, "Come with me." Old Sheng walked ahead, assuming that Sheng Xiao would follow him. However, Sheng Xiao simply pretended not to hear him and walked straight to Jing Yun. Have you gotten the test results? Yes, just as you expected. Jing Yun nodded. Then when do you intend to make this matter public? When I get another piece of evidence. Jing Yun answered Sheng Xiao calmly. Meanwhile, second brother walked up to Sheng Xiao and told him, "Eighth brother, you should give grandfather some face in such an occasion. Eighth brother, in such an occasion, you should give grandfather some face. He is waiting to see you in the garden." Sheng Xiao leveled second brother a sidelong glance and nodded after a moment. If you want me to drive him crazy, I can meet him. You left the Sheng family out of the blue and left such a huge mess. You should give grandfather an explanation, be it public or private. My fiancé is suddenly no longer my fiancé. Who can give me an explanation? Sheng Xiao asked second brother in return, lowering his head to look at Mu Qiqi. Still, he did not give second brother a hard time, and instead clapped Mu Qiqi on the back of her hand. Talk to fourth sister. I'll be right back. Will he be fine? Chapter 370. Mu Qiqi walked toward Sheng Minglan. The two sisters shared a look, but Sheng Minglan was still worried. Why don't you go with him? I really don't know how eighth brother's temper would piss grandpa off. Fourth sister, you know how much the old man hates me. It would be weird if he didn't faint from anger if I really went with Xiao Xiao. Mu Qiqi shrugged. Sheng Minglan chuckled at that. That's true. Grandpa would probably skin you alive now that eighth brother is leaving the Sheng family. Actually, you don't have to worry. The old man would never let anything happen to him before he achieves his goal. Do you blame him, Qiqi? It doesn't matter. He has his own position. Mu Qiqi did not have the mood to remember someone who hated her every moment. Wasn't that just making things difficult for herself? Mu Qiqi looked around at the guests, her gaze eventually landing on Su Yihong. I think all of you should focus on that man today. After all, Mu Qiqi did not believe that Su Yihong would let go of any chance to deal with Jing Yun in such an occasion. Of course, the evidence in Jing Yun's hands would be exposed as soon as he moved. When that happens, wouldn't it be clear who was the one who lost more than he gained? Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao had gone to the Su family's garden and found the old man leaning on his walking stick under the shade of a tree. His benevolent countenance would have drawn people to him, but who would have thought that an old man with such a face would have such a stubborn mind? Sheng Xiao slowly walked up behind the old man and asked, "What do you have to say?" "Say it." The old man turned in a hurry to glare at Sheng Xiao, his walking stick almost hitting Sheng Xiao. "You're abandoning Huang Yao for a woman? Just say what you want, eighth brother. Why do you have to cause such a ruckus every time before you're happy? Are you threatening me? Huang Yao is yours when I'm old. You're ruining your own career." After Sheng Xiao heard that, he approached the tree trunk and leaned against it. He smiled. "These things again. Can't you feel a little fresh? If you don't pretend to give up on Huang Yao, you don't have to listen to me now. Surely you don't think that I was joking with you when I left Huang Yao, do you?" Sheng Zhao's gaze suddenly turned sharp as he stared at old Sheng seriously. "Don't tell me you're not forcing me to submit?" Grandpa Sheng sneered. "You just want me to acknowledge Mu Qiqi. You just want me to admit defeat before you feel happy." Grandpa. It was rare for Sheng Xiao to speak in such a serious tone. "I don't want to force you to be with Qi. I can easily achieve that if I leave the Sheng family. Why would I go through so much trouble to torture myself? Stop acting. Can you give up on the Sheng family's wealth and status? My wealth and status were never given by the Sheng family. You have to understand why the world calls me the crown prince. It's not because of the Sheng family, but because I've never lost to anyone, Sheng Xiao said confidently. That is why I could rely on my own abilities to create another Huang Yao even if I'm not with the Sheng family. So, why should I listen to your control? Old Sheng was speechless. Which part of Huang Yao or the Sheng family is worth my nostalgia for? If you think so highly of the young lady of the Gu family, why don't you marry her as a concubine? Wouldn't that be perfect? You know? Old Sheng's eyes widened at Sheng Xiao. Do you think your every move has any privacy from me? Sheng Xiao said, straightening. You can keep controlling the Sheng family and meddle with your children, but that doesn't include me. I'll say it one last time. Please pretend that I'm dead from now on. With that, Sheng Xiao moved to leave, but the old man held him back. The Sheng family has raised you. What right do you have to choose? Whether it's Huang Yao or the Sheng family, it's all your responsibility. You can't escape it. Don't you want Mu Qiqi?
Fine.
After you marry the young lady of the Gu family and make Mu Qiqi your secret lover, I can turn a blind eye. Take back what you said just now. I still have some respect for you. Sheng Zhao's voice turned cold. Don't forget that Huang Yao wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for me. I can agree to anything you want aside from being with Mu Qiqi. Even 10 Huang Yaos wouldn't compare to 1 Mu Qiqi. With that, Sheng Xiao left under the shade of the tree, leaving old Sheng to sulk under the tree. Second brother walked up to the old man and asked, How is it, Grandpa? That bastard. He insisted that I accept Mu Qiqi. After all, he had always believed that the main problem between him and Sheng Xiao was Mu Qiqi. Then you. Come, let's go back. The old man refused to admit defeat. Talk to Huang Yao's partners and cut all ties with eighth brother. I'd like to see who would be his friend without Huang Yao's protection. Even so, second brother knew very well that Sheng Xiao wouldn't be Sheng Xiao if he was afraid of such things. Grandpa, don't let your anger ruin your health. I really owe him in my past life. Sheng Xiao returned to the banquet hall, and Mu Qiqi turned to look at her man. Sheng Minglan approached him worriedly. Have you talked to Grandpa? Sheng Xiao lowered his head and took a glass of champagne from a waiter's tray, before smiling. He still doesn't seem to accept the fact that I've left Huang Yao. Are you really not going back? Sheng Xiao did not answer Sheng Minglan and instead put his arm over Mu Qiqi's shoulder. But what are you going to do after you leave the Sheng family? You have to protect her, don't you? Perhaps even the old man believed that he would achieve nothing without someone to rely on after leaving Huang Yao. That was why the old man insisted that he would never give up on everything Huang Yao had at his fingertips. He was just throwing a tantrum. But that was fine. He would let the old man think that way because he would know that there was no going back when Enchanting went public. Let's just pretend that I have nothing now. Looking around, every guest present was praising Sheng Xiao and Jing Yun for being young and promising, which naturally left Su Yi home with a deadly sense of danger. Chapter 371. Halfway through the reunion banquet, the eldest uncle of the Su family finally arrived. Though he and Papa Su had always been at odds like fire and water, he would still care about the Su family's reputation on the surface and maintain his brotherly bond with Papa Su. That must be my nephew. What a talent. The eldest uncle of the Su family was on the tall side, and a little plump, which was why he appeared more burly than Papa Su. His hands were naturally strong too, and it hurt when they landed on Jing Yun's body. Big brother, you've come all the way here to congratulate me. I thank you as your younger brother. Papa Su quickly greeted him. What are you talking about? Everyone knows that for this child, sister-in-law has been crying all day long. Now that the child is back, as the big brother, I can rest assured. Jing Yun did not entertain them, and instead turned his eyes to Su Yihong and his eldest uncle. This father and son pair's wishful thinking was truly resounding. Don't mind your eldest uncle.
Just be polite.
Mama Su whispered into Jing Yun's ear. Mother, can you help me announce my marriage to Minglan? Jing Yun did not care about his eldest uncle and father since he would deal with them sooner or later. Right now, all he wanted was to give Minglan a title. Mama Su smiled at that. Got it. Hence, Mama Su went to the podium and announced Jing Yun and Minglan's marriage in front of everyone. Naturally, old Sheng was happy to see it. Even if Xing Xiao was not around at Huangyao, he still had Jing Yun to comfort him a little. Congratulations to you and Jing Yun, fourth sister, Mu Qiqi quickly said. Mu Qiqi quickly congratulated him. You don't know how worried Xiao Xiao and I were when this blockhead didn't understand. I think you're the only one who's worried. Eighth brother never asks about such things. Sheng Minglan raised a brow. He only has you in his heart. Whatever the case, you're very happy to be with the person you love, fourth sister. Sheng Minglan nodded and turned to Jing Yun. Their gazes locked, leaving the others envious. Meanwhile, the employees of Su Holdings were not just shocked. Their backs were breaking out in cold sweat as well. Because the person they were told to mess with was actually the third young master of the Su family. No wonder he didn't look like a normal office worker from the way he talked and dressed. He was actually the young master of Su Holdings. The incident soon spread in the company's group chat, and those who had made fun of Jing Yun before were now on tenterhooks. If I had known that you were the young master of the Su clan, I wouldn't have dared to offend you even if I had to die. This third young master is way too low profile. If he had revealed his identity earlier, there wouldn't have been so many misunderstandings. Looks like this third young master is patrolling incognito. Who told you guys to bully the weak and suck up to the strong? Now you've run into a tough one. In fact, Jing Yun wouldn't bother with them since he had already taught them a good lesson. As long as it didn't happen again in the future, he couldn't be bothered. After lunch, the guests entered the dance floor to entertain themselves while Su Yihong chatted with his real father in the garden. Eldest uncle, I've been with the Su family for so many years, but in the end, they look more like a family. Eldest uncle Su snorted. You've been working hard for the Su family over the years, never slacking. And yet, that beggar came back and stole all your limelight. Well, I don't really care. Su Yihong muttered. Still, that younger brother of mine isn't easy to deal with. If we don't act soon, it'll be too late when he remembers. What do you plan to do? I'll bring third brother to the factory in 2 days. It'll be up to you when the time comes. The Su family had so many machines, and many of them were very dangerous. It wasn't like they couldn't deal with Jing Yun if they tampered with the machines. If anything happened, it would have nothing to do with them, and Jing Yun could only blame his bad luck. Don't worry, it's just a small matter. Eldest uncle Su replied. If your wings weren't full, I would have snapped my brother's slender neck. There's no hurry. Right now, Xing Xiao is standing on high ground, watching as Su Yihong and the eldest uncle of the Su family stood together. His lips curled into a smile. Tell Jing Yun to be careful over the next few days.
Su Yihong has a plan.
I must say that bloodline is such a wonderful thing. Those two really look alike. Mu Qiqi couldn't help being moved. If you think it's amazing, you should give birth to one and see how it works. I'm only 19. Mu Qiqi emphasized her age. 20 is enough. Mu Qiqi punched him in the chest, but Xing Xiao caught her little fist. Your grandfather is looking forward to us having a child soon. We're not even engaged, let alone married. Why would I give birth to your child? You've changed. You didn't treat me like this before. Mu Qiqi chuckled and stopped teasing him. When will the news of Zhongting's establishment be announced? When the time is right, Xing Xiao said mysteriously. Now that he had resigned from Huangyao, everyone in Jianchuan would probably look at him in a different light. After all, he had nothing now, and he couldn't be content with watching the show so quickly. He had to let old Xing think that he had a few more days. In the distance, Jing Yun had noticed Su Yihong and the eldest uncle of the Su family sitting together from where he was beside his parents, and simply told Mama Su, eldest brother and eldest uncle are getting along. Your big brother can chat with any kind of person. It seemed that his mother trusted Su Yihong 100%, and Su Yihong's painstaking efforts over the years in the Su family were not in vain.
What are you talking about?
You're so happy. Su Yihong rose from his chair when he saw Jingyun nearby and walked up to mother and son. I'm saying that you're making good connections. Mama Su replied. Mother, I want to bring third brother to our factory in 2 days. What do you think? Ultimately, the Su family was a corporation that developed and manufactured medical equipment, and Jingyun must have control over the production line. That's fine. You'll be in charge of it. Thank you, brother. Jingyun said very politely. We're all brothers, and the Su family would be yours sooner or later. That's why you don't have to be so courteous with me. What did Xing Xiao just say? Su Yihong couldn't hold back. After all, the longer Jingyun stayed with the Su family, the deeper his bond with the Su couple. Chapter 372. Having followed Xing Xiao for years, Jingyun could naturally tell from Su Yihong's words that he was scheming. What production line? It was nothing more than an excuse to cripple his body. Otherwise, Jingyun could not imagine what Su Yihong could do to him in such a place. If that was the case, and Su Yihong was harboring evil intentions, he would definitely not hold back and settle the score with Su Yihong once and for all. As for where Su Yihong would set the trap, he would have to improvise when the time comes. The reunion banquet was lively and naturally went smoothly. Since old Sheng had become in-laws with the Su family, he naturally planned to return home after the banquet. There was no lack of guests who praised Xing Xiao in front of him, but he retorted with one line, "It's a pity that the kid is mischievous and insists on going out to make a name for himself. He doesn't even want to be the CEO of Huang Yao, and as his elder, wouldn't I be letting him down if I don't fulfill his wish?" In other words, old Sheng was implying that Xing Xiao had nothing to do with Huang Yao. He's still a kid who wouldn't make mistakes. That's true. Still, he has left the Sheng family. You don't have to hold back if you see him in the future. Teach him a lesson for me. Did that mean that the Sheng family was really not acknowledging the crown prince? I'll do as you say, old Sheng. Xing Xiao had always been able to do whatever he wanted in Jianchuan, and no one had ever dared to touch him. Now that he was really leaving Huang Yao, did that mean that the heir of Huang Yao would be changed? It seemed that old Sheng was sad about his grandson. Instead of a great empire, he insisted on a woman. The old man probably thought that his grandson was a good-for-nothing, which was why he did not intend to keep supporting him. And it would be terrible if news of that got out. As the saying goes, the river flows east for 30 years, then west for 30 years. Was the crown prince going to be a nobody, trampled by everyone? That night, it was not just the Su family's manor that was bustling. Something was happening at the Lu family as well. Lin Mu, and was really acting as Lu Qianqian's bodyguard at the moment, staying by her side no matter what she did. It was a great humiliation for old Lin. The grandson of the Lin family actually went to work for a second-hand good. He really had no sense of shame. Thinking of this, the old man really couldn't take it anymore. He had to think of a way to teach this unfilial son a lesson and scare that broken shoe. Meanwhile, Lu Qianqian had just finished her class and was walking out of her tutor's private classroom with Lin Mu, but just as they were about to drive away, a black car crashed into them. Lin Mu and protected Lu Qianqian. After confirming that the accident was not serious, he unbuckled his seatbelt and got out of the car. He wanted to reason with the other party. Unexpectedly, 4 burly men came down and grabbed Lin Mu and then they said fiercely, "Are you tired of living? How dare you block our path?" Lin Mu and turned to Lu Qianqian and said, "Call the police." However, the other party did not give Lin Mu a chance to react at all. Their fists directly smashed over. It was not one person but 4 people. Lu Qianqian was frightened by the scene in front of her. She quickly called the police, but was threatened by the other party. "If you dare to call the police, I will kill him." Lu Qianqian quickly comforted them. "What do you want? Do I need money? I'll give it to you. Don't hurt him. Do you think we lack that?" In the end, Lin Mu and was a police academy student and knew self-defense.
But there were 4 of them.
If he moved, they would quickly and viciously press him to the ground. Their skills clearly showed that they were not gangsters from the outside. Then what do you want? We know this young master is a young master of the Lin family, but he dumped my sister. So, we're using this as a pretext to beat him up. What can he do? Even the Lin family doesn't recognize him now. I've never been in love. How could I dump your sister? Lin moved and wiped the blood from his nose and smiled. I'm afraid it's that old man from the Lin family who asked you to come. The others were stunned. They did not expect Lin Mu and to expose them. I can't fight back even if you beat me up today. I can't beat you anyway. But it's the first time I've heard of a grandfather getting someone to beat his grandson up. It's really touching. Us beating you up has nothing to do with the Lin family. The trouble is so obvious. Why do you hide it? He's my grandfather. I won't fight back if he really beats me up. The others could not keep up the perfunctory act. They let go of Lin Mu and's collar.
Cut the crap.
I'll beat you up again the next time I see you. With that, they got up and left. It was only then that Lu Qianqian came forward, crying. She wanted to help Lin Mu and up, but he pushed her away. There's blood. It's dirty. What's dirty? I don't mind. Lu Qianqian helped him up and put him in the car. Are you okay? Do we need to go to the hospital? I'm not good enough as a bodyguard. I can't protect you at all when you're in danger. Lin Mu and's face was swollen. He clutched his chest and panted with difficulty. Are you sure it's your grandfather who got someone to do it? He just wants to teach me a lesson, Lin Mu replied. He's a little agitated when he sees us together. I understand. How can there be such a grandfather? Lu Qianqian really could not understand. He just wants to scare you, so that you don't have anything to do with me. Lin Mu and wiped away the blood on his face helplessly. You have to drive the car. Even if he wants to scare me, he shouldn't really hit you. Lu Qianqian really could not understand how a grandfather could be so cruel to his own grandson. He's at his wit's end. Lin Mu and's gaze darkened. He hoped that he did not further agitate his grandfather. This is just the beginning. He will definitely think of a way to make me beg him so that I will willingly return to the Lin family. As long as you want to find a place to hide, my house will always be open for you. Aren't you afraid of my grandfather's revenge? Lin Mu and narrowed his eyes and asked Lu Qianqian. The Lu family is not glass. It will shatter with one touch. Moreover, you are all alone now. If you lose me, you can go begging on the streets. With that, Lu Qianqian pressed a tissue on Lin Mu and's nose. Wipe it. I'll send you to the hospital for a checkup. There's really no need. Listen to you or listen to me? Lu Qianqian crossed her arms and asked Lin Mu, and dangerously. I think your grandfather must be a pervert in his past life. How could he do such a thing? Let him vent his anger. He's old. Lin Mu and was very open-minded. Chapter 373. But that doesn't stop me from being your bodyguard. Lu Qianqian pressed on his wound, and Lin Mu and inhaled sharply. You're about to fall apart, and you're still boasting shamelessly. Lu Qianqian glared at him and drove the damaged car to the hospital. After a checkup, the doctor insisted that Lin Mu and be hospitalized. Young man, don't fight just because you have a good recovery. His grandfather did it. Lu Qianqian told the doctor angrily. It's the first time you've seen a grandfather like that, isn't it? Beside them, Lin Mu and laughed, clutching his chest. Even if he was beaten up by old Lin, he had a happy little pepper with him. Watching her scold someone was the best medicine for him. You're still laughing? You've broken a bone. Lu Qianqian was fuming. Your grandfather could really do it. You must have been picked up from the streets. Lin Mu and really did not want to listen to Lu Qianqian's nagging. Hence, he hugged her in his arms and comforted her in front of the doctor. Whether my grandfather did it or not, little Pepper, you have to believe me. I'll protect you even if I have to risk my life. Who needs your protection? Lu Qianqian pushed Lin Mu and away forcefully, only to touch his wound. Lin Mu and quickly shrunk into a ball, sweating. Lu Qianqian did not think of anything else. As a good friend, she certainly would not leave Lin Mu alone. Even so, she did not know how serious Lin Mu and was with his vow today. At the Sheng residence, old Sheng had the Sheng family cut all ties with Huang Yao because he did not want Xing Xiao to have him in his hands this time. Even so, he had to answer to the Gu family after Xing Xiao left Huang Yao. They had agreed to settle things with Mu Qiqi. But this time, the old man did not only settle things with Mu Qiqi, but also Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao promptly announced that he was leaving Huang Yao. On the next day, old Sheng invited the Gu family to his house, and Mama Gu stayed in the old man's study for 2 whole hours. Old Mr. Sheng, the Gu family is aware of what happened to your family. Why don't we just forget about the Crown Prince and Xiling? I think the Crown Prince really likes the young lady of the Shin family. Hearing this, Grandpa Gu waved his hand and said to the Gu family, Madam Gu, please don't worry. Everything will go according to plan. I know my grandson. He's just trying to threaten me now. When he knows that threats don't work, he'll listen to me. But, Mrs. Gu, what do you think of this? You saw my second grandson when you came in just now.
He's not married yet.
We'll stick to the original plan and let Miss Gu marry into the Sheng family. She can choose whichever she likes. What do you think? Madame Gu recalled how second brother Sheng walked past her just now. He was indeed a handsome man.
So, she nodded.
If that's the case, I'll agree to it. After all, the Gu family was aware that the second young master of the Sheng family held great power in Huang Yao. They could accept either the Crown Prince or the second young master. Then we have a deal. After the Gu family left, sixth brother asked the old man, Grandpa, what's going on? It has nothing to do with you. Just mind your own business. Grandpa Sheng told sixth brother. Everything was ready. There was just no telling when that unfilial son of his would stop being willful. Sixth brother hung his head and turned to leave, but the old man suddenly called out to him.
Wait.
Grandpa. Seal eighth brother's room as well. And spread the word that eighth brother is never coming back to the Sheng family now that he's out. Are you serious, Grandpa? Sixth brother was puzzled. Since eighth brother's acting is so real, I certainly can't show weakness. The old man snorted coldly. He would act as if he no longer cared for Xing Xiao, so that he would know that his threats were useless. Even if the outside world knew that Xing Xiao and Huang Yao were at odds, so what? With the Su family moving to Jianchuan and the Shin family regaining their vigor, a military enterprise began its rise. That night it was raining and snowing. Both Xing Xiao and Shun Jianchuan visited the office of Zhongting Industries, where they would handle official business in the future. Su Che was pushing Shin Jianchuan's wheelchair, while Xing Xiao put his arm around Mu Qiqi's shoulder. I like this place. Mu Qiqi told both Xing Xiao and Shin Jianchuan after walking one round. It's a great view, unlike Huang Yao with diamonds everywhere. It's so uncomfortable. Do you dislike Huang Yao, or do you dislike the people there? Xing Xiao asked, pinching Mu Qiqi's chin. Since you've cut ties with the Sheng family, when are you going to announce your identity? Shun Jianchuan asked. At first, I wanted to teach the old man a lesson and let him know my resolve. But now, I think that it's better to keep my identity a secret so that the outside world would think that I've fallen out with Huang Yao. Then, the old man would think that I'm nothing without Huang Yao. That way, I could have more peace in the early days of Zhongting, which is good for my work. Shun Jianchuan nodded at that. You're the lazing son-in-law of the Shin family. You just have to hide in the Shin family. That's what I think too. Xing Xiao replied. But can you take it if the outside world laughs at you for being a coward? Those people, I always have a way to trouble them behind their backs. Xing Xiao was nonchalant. Since that's what you plan to do, just do it. The Shin family could even help you with Huang Yao. Are you going to suffer for a while, CEO? Isn't that right? You're in for it with a husband who's been chased out of the family. Shun Jianchuan really did not want to see the two flirting, and so had Su Che push him to his office. He really wanted to sit there like a normal person, but he clearly could not do that now. As for Xing Xiao, he was now talking about working with Zhongting.
His partners had all changed.
As a military enterprise that produced military supplies for the army, the people he would be dealing with now were people with real power and influence, but they were never ostentatious. This was a completely new challenge for him. When he got home, Muchichi found that Xing Xiao had stepped into a new field and couldn't help climbing onto his lap to read his research materials. Now that you've established a new company with Dad, are you going to lean towards politics in the future? You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.